tonight, basically, right? So today, guys, we're going to be talking about TRX Battle Royale, right? So we think it's going to be quite interesting. So most likely, guys, we will cover all of the tier 1 first, Battle Royale, before we actually move into tier 2, and then, of course, subsequently tier 3 lah. From the looks of it, this is how we're going to do it. So tonight's Battle Royale will be TRX versus Bukit Bintang, because we have done KLCC before, we've done Mont Kiara before. Now we're going to do TRX versus Bukit Bintang. Even though the poster says TRX, basically it's really TRX versus Bukit Bintang, right? So it's quite exciting to do this Battle Royale, simply because there's a lot of findings, whereby and it's basically new findings that did not exist before, right, prior to this. So without further delay, so I think let's just quickly start. So I think we can beam up the slides, team. Right, I'm going to do the quick introduction before I hand over the floor to both Zairi dengan LB, and then of course throughout to me, William, and of course our esteemed guest Shawnee Hung will basically also share his thoughts, right? So there you go. So basically tonight we're going to be talking about TRX versus Bukit Bintang. Which one is the better buy? And before we start, I want to see what do you guys think, guys? Between TRX versus Bukit Bintang, which one would you buy as of today? Nak tengok people punya opinion ni. So far pemenang dia adalah TRX, right? And then there are going to be some people talking about Bukit Bintang juga, but I think so far 70% of ruangan komen talking about TRX, right? Versus Bukit Bintang. So okay. So I'm hoping after tonight the answer become very, very, very clear. Right? Which one is the better buy? And obviously at what price point lah, at what price point. So let's move on to the next slide, please. Okay, so the usual, why are we doing this? Number one, we want to look at data today, right? We want to look at data, so data can give you guys independent guide to anyone looking to buy property, right, in areas such as Bukit Bintang or TRX. So that's the first goal, right? Number two, give you full information, background story of what has happened in the past and what will happen in the future and what is going on currently. So I think tonight's session will be very good, especially for those who are young. Anyone here below 30 years old? Right? Anyone here below 30 years old? Right? All right, cool. Right? Because if you are below 30, I think you're going to appreciate the throwback lesson to history, right? The throwback lesson to history. Because what has happened in KL in 1980s, 1990s, waktu I teenager, waktu budak kecil lagi kan, right? And what has happened the last 20 years basically, right? So I think you really see the picture what has happened, right? And what is currently happened and what will happen, right? So I think after tonight you understand the full POV, right? Third is that for those who are looking to buy property in this area, so you will be able to go get shortcut in terms of what you learn tonight. There will be shortcut whereby you will know or what are the things to look for, what are the things to avoid in this area. Right. Number four, really demonstrate, right, how you use data to avoid expensive mistakes, right? Because unfortunately, I guess, a lot of property in tier 1 especially all don't make money, right? So let's be honest, right? If you look at the majority of the property in the last 10 years, that is walkable to both Bukit Bintang and TRX, majority do not make money. When I say majority, I'm talking about minimum 80% don't make money. Underwater today, negative cash flow, cow. All right, so again, after tonight, I think you will understand that how do you then use data to really, really make sure that you don't join the team of losers, the last 10 years. So I call them the losers, right? So again, they're going to get upset at me. Confirm kena kecam lagi, kena viral lagi. But yeah, I don't give a shit. As usual, right? I don't lose any sleep of kena kecam, right? So, I sleep like a baby, right? Last but not least, as usual, we're going to tell you the truth, especially on the border side, right? How you determine what is 118, what is Pudu, what is Bukit Bintang, what is TRX, right? So because, what is interesting tonight here is that it's going to be this area called Pudu, right? This area called Pudu. So dengar betul-betul lah guys. Dulu, right? There's only one key area which is Bukit Bintang, right? So today you got the PNB 118 area, you got Bukit Bintang, which is the OG, you got KLCC, and then you got TRX. So what was the OG of Bukit Bintang now is divided to 4 key areas, right? And Pudu is attached to all 4, right? So patah balik. Before, yeah. Patah balik to the slide, no? So there are going to be developers who are going to sell this, right? Pudu area as a 118, as a Bukit Bintang, as bloody TRX. So don't kena scam by them lah. Alright, so again, we're taking a significant risk here to trying to educate you guys. So you know, again, full transparency. So next slide, please. Okay, so what can you learn today? Right, number one, why we never like the location bullshit mantra. Right, number two, right, you have to understand what is the border, what is the real area of 118, what is the real area of TRX, what is the real area of Bukit Bintang, and what is Pudu, right? So you have to understand the border so that you don't overpay. Okay, then you're going to be able to go and discover also of all the tier 1 that we have reviewed between Bukit Bintang versus TRX versus KLCC versus Mongkira, which one is the best one. Okay, number 4, why do you have to understand the concept tier before you buy anything, right? And then with Bukit Bintang and TRX, should you buy new property, should you buy old property? Because new property roughly about 1,500 per square foot, right? Old property you can find 600 700 ringgit per square foot in proper Bukit Bintang. So which one will be a better buy? Number 6, what is the most important development that will come to the area that will help increase both rental and property value? Right, number 7, right, why we are under the view that property here, similar to like KCC, are not property that you should be keeping forever. Right, last but not least, so the proper Battle Royale, after comparing TRX versus Bukit Bintang, then we're going to look at a bunch of property within this area. So there's going to be 5 property today. You got Pavilion Square, you got Baranigans. So I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it correctly ataupun tidak, right? And then you got Times Square 2, right? You got TRX Residence, and last but not least, you got Ejang. So guys, this is what you can expect to learn tonight, right? Branigans. So Branigans, is it? Okay, cool. Right, so that means kita sudah salah angel, guys. So I apologize for that, right? So next slide, please. Okay. So with this, I'm going to hand over the floor to both LB and, you know, Zairi to lead the way tonight and to present. So, you know, LB, Zairi, floor is yours.
So I'm going to talk about continue the presentation from here. So I'm LB from research, going to talk about TRX and Bukit Bintang tonight. So that's just a simple guide for you guys about why we think it is tier 1, how we actually classify it under tier 1 is because based on rental, occupant mix, prices, and also prices based on landed properties around, and also new launches. So basically in tier 1s, rentals above 5,000 per month is actually very common and normal in this area. And also prices above 1 mil as an absolute price is pretty normal here for a tier 1. And also new launches, thousands per square feet is also normal in this area. So this is why we've classified it under tier 1. And so basically under tier 1, there's few others area. We have Mont Kiara, Hatamas, Damansara Heights, KLCC, Bukit Bintang, KL Central, Mid Valley. The new entries as per today, we have TRX, Bangsa South, Tutamas, or Desa Park City. So basically, we actually cover a few other areas like Mont Kiara for the last Battle Royale. You guys can actually watch in the YouTube channels if you miss the sessions. And also for today, we are going to talk about the very, very new TRX, the financial hubs, and also the very, very sort of like the OGs of the financial hub Bukit Bintang and how it is today as compared to last time. Okay, so I'll just go on about the definition of the area, just to give you guys a bit of introduction on how the area is and a bit of history line of the Pudu area, how is it being segregated or being separated into different areas and being renamed it to what it is today. So last two sessions, we talked about KLCC, the other master plan area. So basically, this is Pudu. I think I need to put a highlighter, is it? Because you guys can see my highlighters.
I can see your pointer.
Oh, you can see my pointer. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, so basically this is KLCC last week, last two session we discussed about this, right? So this is Jalan Tun Razak, and also behind our so-called very close to our Bukit Bintang, actually KLCC, this is actually Conley area. Then down the street we have Jalan Raja Chulan, where you have the Chulan's hotels over here, and this is actually Pavilion. This main route over here is actually Jalan Bukit Bintang lah, but the main route segregated is Jalan Raja Chulan that come over here. Then we have Jalan Sultan Ismail, actually separated KLCC and also Bukit Bintang as well. So basically this is Bukit Bintang. In Bukit Bintang, we have different area like salon area over here, and the main attraction as per today, I guess I want to talk about Bukit Bintang is about Pavilion, right? So Pavilion is actually over here. Okay, then next to it, the new upcoming star is actually TRX, where we talk about financial hubs. So the road that actually segregated Bukit Bintang and also TRX is actually the Jalan Imbi over here. Okay, so then below Bukit Bintang, we have 118, Menara 118, and also the road that actually segregated this is actually Jalan Pudu, and over here is Jalan Kampong Pandan, and this was actually colored green as well because this is going to be TRX2, the urban quarters. Hence, we actually have the first phase development of TRX and also the second phase as well. So this is about the borderline, how we actually classify it into different areas and how Pudu it is today, based on different kind of, I would say, background of their financial status or even commercial area or even office towers. So when we talk about Bukit Bintang in 1970s, right, I guess for our publics who joined today, when we talk about Bukit Bintang last time, I guess if you were born in 1970s or 80s, I guess the main attraction you guys went in KL, I mean like KL as if Kuala Lumpur, okay? You guys went to like Sungai Wang because Sungai Wang actually have the mall here like Sungai Wang Plaza, which actually opened in 1977, which is the most popular shopping center last time lah. And actually because it's situated at the Golden Triangle in the area, and also it was the main attraction last time, comparing today, where we talk about Bukit Bintang today is about Pavilion, right? So this old COG stand for Center of Gravity of Bukit Bintang last time actually was Sungai Wang Plaza lah. Then we actually, last time Bukit Bintang was so famous for like financial hubs. We actually have different bank of HQs actually stand in Bukit Bintang as well, but slowly they actually shifted to different area. Some actually shifted to KLCC, some actually shifted out to like KL Central or Damansara Heights, and Maybank actually shifted to Menara 118 today, and some actually slowly shifted towards our new financial hub, which is TRX today. So we have MBank, BSN, PBB, and Public Bank. Actually, RHB has shifted towards KLCC, CIMB Bank to KL Central, and Hong Leong back to Damansara Heights. So Maybank to Menara 118, OCBC Alliance Standard Chartered Mamalat actually have not shifted, but probably we actually have like our PN Amwa actually announced new scheme to attract company to shift their HQ towards TRX. Probably they actually may attract quite a number of companies to make their shift towards our new financial hubs. Okay, so
hang on. So I think we can bring some of the guests here. So because LB is clearly too young to be part of the Sungai Wang punya generation, right?
Yeah.
I think William also a little bit too young to be part of the Sungai Wang generation, right? I would say I don't know lah. Even Sean, are you that young? Do you still go? Do you went to Sungai Wang lah? Basically, the question here is that when you were a teenager, right? Right. So did you
In
go
my
to
A
Sungai Wang?
levels, in my A levels, I do.
Ah,
In my A
because
levels,
because Sungai Wang was the place, right? During my time lah. I don't know lah. Anyone in their 40s, I think would remember lah at that point of time. If you sekolah menengah, you will actually do custom made sekolah menengah pants dekat Cantona 7. You know?
oh yeah.
There you go. Siapa ingat? Siapa geng-geng Cantona 7 waktu tu? Right? So hadir. Yeah. So there was a bunch of I forgot lah what's the name, right? But I think Sungai Wang was the place, right? Was the place, right? That one before KLCC was there, right? Before we had a proper shopping mall, basically. So Sungai Wang was the place, right? And what is interesting here is that my lead dad used to work for Hilton, right? And he used to say this is the most expensive real estate in the country. It's called the Golden Triangle. Segitiga emas, right? So you don't hear this anymore, right? You don't hear this anymore because obviously the segitiga now has been I don't know lah, kena campak kat kiri kanan depan belakang, right? And Bukit Bintang is no longer the most expensive address, right? Somewhat, right? So it's no longer the most expensive address, right? So and then we've seen a shift of last time. All the big companies, all the who's who companies will actually set up offices in Bukit Bintang, right? We'll set up offices in Bukit Bintang, right? So I guess, Sean, what is your take looking at this shift, right? Of, from commercial shopping all the way to financial, offices, movement, shopping behavior, movement, right? All the way to now, I think Sungai Wang Plaza is like, it's still there, but I mean, no one is going to say it's a grade A mall, basically.
Yep. So from my documentation, like a lot of people keep thinking, also they forget they tell also people with age only they can understand, right? Again, LB and William can go back home. These are old men talk to me. But on serious note, it's like how come SS2, how come Sri Petaling, how come Damansara Utama, how come Uptown, those commercial areas, right, are always like the address or the main reference point. Last time there was this thing called landmark before Waze was invented, before Google Maps was invented. Last time, before all this technology, right, in order to find a location, you need to tell your relative the nearest petrol station first. So these commercial areas then becomes a hub for all activities, especially for banks. All real estate investors, their dream tenants are banks. So you look into Taipan, Subang Jaya, right, SS15, all those. If you have more than 6 banks, it becomes the commercial hub of an address. That's outskirts, right? For CP, then, weirdly enough, they don't build as much retail, but all prefer plazas. That's why Bukit Bintang becomes this Sungai Wang becomes one of the first plazas for all banks to come in. And I was around when LRT was there already. This is pre-MRT stage. So I used to take the bus from Wangsa Maju, Jalan Genting Klang, all the way here for karaoke. Yeah, so on that time, also you realize that the retail format for all these kind of malls then will be very unique as well. It's all privately owned. And last time malls was built in that format because no developers all last time no money also. Or they're trying to public crowd fund, build something, then they sell, then they make money and jiao. Not like now all malls need to be privately owned entirely to ensure that you have control over tenants to guarantee the success as well. So those are the movements. But another thing is when our Faizul said that the shift of Golden Triangle I still remember last time Ho Chin Sun's book that talks about the Golden Triangle. But is KLCC the triangle or Pavilion is the triangle or Sungai Wang is the triangle? That was always the debate. But then suddenly now, when in Malaysia, our highways are built differently. So it's always where the stop happens, the intersect between highways happen, that used to be the central point. That's why now, I think, when's the last time people here go to Sungai Wang also? I didn't go there for like the past 10 years, like easily, 10 years I didn't go there. Pass by got lah. So, I did not step in also like,
The last I went there was last year for a concert.
huh? Concert?
Yeah, it was a D massive concert, right? So I went there. No, I think might be early this year, and that was after maybe 10 years. And for the benefit of for some people, I used to work in sports station Sungai Wang for I think 2 years. Before uni, right before uni lah. So I used to sell shoes. I used to put shoes for people, right? So sports station was the lower ground, right? Sungai Wang. I was there lah doing part time, right? Pay was good, better than McDonald's and KFC, right? It's not as tiring too, right? So yeah, Sungai Wang I think has been a place where a lot of people don't go anymore. And I think today, I guess, if we're talking about the triangle has been stretched properly, I think. And that triangle has been stretched between your KLCC to 118, then TRX, right? As a, that now is a triangle, and Bukit Bintang is right between. Right? So that to me right now is looking like the case as of today. So and think what has happened here, I don't know whether you guys have been, right? To Bukit Bintang recently. So Bukit Bintang has become very lively. It has been transformed. So Sungai Wang, for example, has been quite dead basically, but Bukit Bintang itself has been nicely transformed into a nice street area. So, all the way from Jalan Alo, right? All the way to Jalan Alo, all the way walkable to Pavilion. It's quite lively. So it's fun to actually just walk at night, right? And there are so many foods, from Middle Eastern food all the way to Chinese food, all the way to Western. So it's very, very happening. And I would say I have not been to many places that has got similar vibe. I don't think there's anything in Jakarta like that. I don't know if there's anything in Singapore like that too. I'm pretty sure Bangkok has it because I've seen some videos and photo, right? Where people can walk between, grade A malls, and then out there, you've got all the street food. It's pretty fun. So the vibe of being able to go and, mix and match that, I think is quite interesting. So that's, I think, what Bukit Bintang has become. It becomes like a destination place. A lot of viral food there, right? People actually go there at night to spend time with their family, try queue for 1 hour to eat viral food. Apa benda kebab tu? So that
Kebab viral.
bukan kebab, apa dia panggil lah?
Damascus.
Damascus. So that one is quite viral. Yeah, and all this kunafa stuff, right? So it's actually quite interesting, like very interesting to walk at night, right? So I find it to be quite interesting, that Bukit Bintang has now been transformed to a street eating, shopping experience similar to. It's not as nice as Ginza or Shinjuku in Tokyo, right? So but it's that the vibe is like that, the vibe is like that. So I find it to be quite interesting.
But the traffic now is also terrible. Like after 10, right?
Yeah, it's worse actually.
Cannot move on.
Yeah, it's worse. So like I said, I think this transformation of Bukit Bintang to be that, in my opinion, is quite positive. It's quite surprising. It didn't die. It got transformed, right?
Question.
Yeah.
Since you're from the era, right, Che?
Am I the only one above 40 here?
I think even they won't admit lah.
Hang on, Zairi, how old are you, Zairi?
Good.
How old are you?
How am I?
How old?
How
Berapa
old?
umur kau?
35.
Sean, how old?
Same ah.
Shit, so I'm the oldest here. Bloody hell. Okay.
I don't
Eh,
look.
I thought dah tahu dah.
I didn't realize,
Oh,
I thought I was, William dengan LB punya batch group,
cik. Oh no, my question is Masjid Jamid dulu, when Sungai Wang was built, right? That row of shops there between the two stations is there already.
I have no idea lah. I've never took notice on Masjid Jamid. Right.
Okay.
So I did went to a tuition center there for about a year and a half or two. So I passed by Masjid Jamid lah. For me, back then it was dodgy. I think it's still dodgy today.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure why certain banks are there, right? I find it to be very weird lah. For banks to be placed at the Masjid Jamid and Pudu side lah. I think like why?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah.
So you're mentioning that you are not feeling that safe, is it?
No lah. I mean it's just dodgy lah. Right? It's just dodgy, right? So it's not like properly covered, right?
Yeah, then it's dark, the buildings
Correct.
All
down.
buildings.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you see, for example, if you go to Jakarta or you go to like even Hong Kong or Singapore, the places where the banks are is
Always bright.
it's always bright, It's always bright, it's not dodgy, right? You don't see homeless people sleeping on the street, so you don't see it, but you see it in Masjid Jamid. I always wondered why certain banks go there. I find it to be very weird.
Because it's just one street away. That's why I'm curious.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know why, for example, Maybank is in Pudu. I think there's another bank. I think it's OCBC. I think the HQ. I think it's Masjid Jamid. Maybe because of the LRT lah.
That time KLCC not built yet.
Really? Well,
I
KLCC is
think
already almost 20 years
start
old.
in 1990s, their master plan completed about 1998.
97.
Hmm.
My year of birth, 97. KLCC
Holy shit,
completed.
now show off your
So-
growth already.
So before that, I think Pudu is one of the center for the people there, merchants, all that stuff. That's why I
How
think the
you
banks are all there.
know? How
Huh?
you
Just a
know?
guess. Just a guess.
But they
Because
are
look at the
all-
shop lot, all old already, super
Yeah.
old. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm just curious now, right, like from that era, because that time I'm very young, I still primary school, right? But when I'm just curious, like how commercial moved from Sungai Wang, then over to Times Square, then over to KLCC. I think when KLCC built, right, it's going to be the same feeling like how we observe TRX being built right now. So like when there's a new thing, tower come out, then wow. And also in that area, if you document properly, right, we have all these signature building again and again and again and again. So now they got the 5 top buildings that we are watching right now. So I think when 1977, when Faizul was selling shoes, I think the KLCC is still not there.
Not yet.
So last time it was really the racetrack for the horse.
I think 1997 they've already the racetrack I think was done before that, so I think it was already doesn't exist in 1997. Right. So yeah, because I think KLCC to what 6-7 years to be completed.
Wow, I'm
6 to 7.
just
Yeah.
curious that last time how much was then land price per square feet then. Wow,
Right.
that would be so interesting.
Well, I think Petronas paid above market value. Maxis didn't, right? Because of cronyism, right? At that point of time.
Oh.
Siapa BFF dengan Perdana Menteri get sweetheart deal. That was back then lah, right? But well, Petronas is rich, right? So they didn't really feel it, right? And today, everything did well because because of the fact that it was the tallest twin tower and still the tallest twin tower in the world, right? Until today lah, it's still a proper destination. So I think well, the old man was actually very smart, right? Was very visionary, right? To be able to go build buildings, especially it'll be one tower, right? One tower is easy to build, right? Twin Towers until today, right? It's still, well, I don't know if I'm still correct, right? But I think it's still the tallest Twin Towers in the world.
Yes,
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So quite interesting. Then it went from Bukit Bintang to then move to KLCC, right? Whereby all the banks then, whoever that wanted to build HQ, then beginning to build nearby KLCC. So that's why you see Bank move there, Public Bank move there, right? And then of course KLCC then become a proper oil and gas and energy and office hub. It was the most coveted office address. In fact, even until today, now that after 20 years, right, KLCC office address is still, very, very, very premium.
Yep. Because I think for their corporate guidelines and governance, they have a perimeter for the maximum distance to your vendor.
Yeah.
So all other supporting officers must be around.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, it's nice to reminisce. Although unfortunately my panel all quite young, right? So tak boleh nak reminisce sangat lah. Zaman Bangkok Bank, right? Bangkok Bank was the bus mini punya station. I have no idea where Bangkok Bank is, but I hear it every day. Bangkok Bank, right? So ni zaman you hang out from the bus mini lah, right? From bus mini punya door terbalik rumah, right? So that was the days lah.
What happened to Bangkok Bank?
I still don't know where Bukit Bank until today.
Amalgamate already.
Yeah. So I also don't know whether Bangkok Bank still exists or not. Very funny. Anyway, Albi, carry on.
So that's a very fun discussion about the move of our center of gravity of Bukit Bintang. We're going to discuss further of it. So we talk about KLCC, right, just now. So this is where the boom of our KLCC, where we actually started a new master plan called Kuala Lumpur City Centre. So in the early 90s lah. So actually most of the skyscraper or the main company actually have shifted towards KLCC because the new master plan. So we actually developed the Petronas Twin Towers. Most of the corporate towers started to shift from Bukit Bintang towards KLCCs. So the first phase of the KLCC master plan actually consists of Exxon Mobil, where we talk about oil and gas just now, right? So other than that, we also have Maxis Tower, Petronas Twin Tower, Mandarin Oriental, Public Bank as one of the first bank that actually shifted their HQ towards our KLCCs in the 1990s. So by the year of 2010s lah. So most of the vacant land surrounding KLCC has been developed like what you have seen today. So we actually has a mix of corporate towers and also residential. And I guess the most happening malls in KLCC is actually Surya KLCC lah, where you guys actually went for it. But I guess the main attraction if tourists go for that actually is because of the Petronas Twin Tower. But other than that, KLCC still stand out today for their corporate towers comparing to Bukit Bintang. If we talk about Bukit Bintang today, we talk about pavilions. Like KLCC today, we know about a lot of working opportunities for MNCs and corporate towers. So actually it's become two different identities, like how it actually shifted from Bukit Bintang towards KLCC today. And let's see how will it actually happen to a new master plan that's actually coming up, the financial hub TRX. Okay, so this is the bloom of KLCC as per today. And so talking about our Bukit Bintang, just now we talk about the shifting, right? So this was actually where Sungai Wang Plaza was, and the main of the center of gravity actually shifted to Pavilion. So along the Pavilion Street, you actually have other commercial malls as well. We have the Star Hill, we have Lot 10, we have Fahrenheit, just down one street. So just along the street, you actually can go to different kind of malls. If talking about luxury brands, you go to Pavilions. Sungai Wang Plaza today, I guess, is more toward much more affordable kind of malls comparing to Pavilions. I guess Sean did mention just now about the ownership of the lot. That's actually something to highlight. It was the main actually last time actually is Sungai Wang, right? Then the boom of our Berjaya Times Square. But two of these malls actually loses their control towards their tenants because they actually sell off the individual lots towards different owner. So actually there's a lot of people they can just decide whatever they wanted to sell. This is why now say new malls, right? They wanted to hold their ownerships. So actually they can keep and maintain the profile of the malls. Like pavilions today, you talk about pavilion, you think about all luxury brands. This is why pavilions today everyone go for it. Okay. This is why some of the malls seems to be a bit loses of their control a bit that today comparing to their last time. So this is the moving of a center of gravity of Bukit Bintang. So we talk about pavilion just now. Sean mentioning about it's always like very crowded, very jammed. I guess I've been to there. It's like despite of different kind of hours, is the turning in of the the traffic, the junction is always jammed. I guess last night I went there just during, it's not during Chinese New Year, it's pre-Chinese New Year. I wanted to get my clothes at here. So I think I stuck in a jam for about like 45 minutes just to turn the junction into the road to go to park my car in Fahrenheit. So there's actually quite jam in this area. So other than that, we talk about the new upcoming or new stars, right? The TRX, the financial.
Abi, if you can patah balik a little bit, right? We can patah balik a little bit, right? So I think what is somewhat interesting, right? Why if you are talking about shopping, right? Bukit Bintang as of today, your pavilion site is actually more popular compared to KLCC, right? So and I think the reason why that has happened is simply because Bukit Bintang today has got a mix of ultra luxury to something that you can buy for 10-15 bucks, right? So it's all within walking distance. So in a way, if you go to, for example, Surya KLCC, right? What you see is, well, way above average, ticket price items. You got luxury, ultra luxury, and then your middle tier. You're not going to see like a 20 ringgit tank tops, shirt, right? Unless, for example, you probably go to H&M and it's on sale, right? The Bukit Bintang vibe, however, is slightly different because you can walk from Pavilion, which is your ultra luxury, together with Star Hill, right? Luxury, ultra luxury, right? So Star Hill and Pavilion. And you go to Bukit Bintang, you've got like everything. So from non-branded, and you can buy cute tops or t-shirts for like 20 or 30 ringgit, all the way to Times Square. So if you want to shop, across multiple range, right? It's a little bit more interesting to actually do it over at Bukit Bintang compared to the Twin Tower side, right? And the reality here is that while Twin Tower is the icon, is where people go and take photo, right? But where they spend the money is actually in Bukit Bintang. Quite ironic, right? So I think it's a very interesting how Bukit Bintang has evolved to cater to that, right? To these multiple tiers of people who are looking to buy something, right? So you got things like, for example, like your standard Giordano, H&M, Zara, right, all the way to your like Armani's and Hermes and LV, right, in Pavilion and Star Hill, right? And then all of these non-branded, 20 to 30 ringgit shirts and tops and pants that you can buy in Sungai Wang and Times Square. But like I said, I think the mix is a little bit more interesting, right? And combined with the fact that I think there's a lot of so-called now new viral food, viral roti here, viral kunafa, viral roti Arab. So Bukit Bintang has got that, has made it a lot more interesting for people to go and shop, right? So rather than just focusing on Bukit Bintang. So I thought, people will understand why, right? And I think if you haven't been to Bukit Bintang recently, please go. And especially try to go at night. My only advice to you, don't go on Saturday night. Right? It's a terrible idea. Saturday night, LB is 45 minutes. I've been stuck before 1.5 hours. So today I'm smarter. I merempit je pergi Bukit Bintang. I merempit, I park suka hati saja. Right? Muka pun dah merempit, right? So for those who don't know, I bike, right? So and yeah, so like I said rookie mistake Abi. Sorry. You kena tanya dengan Gen Z macam I, macam mana nak pergi Bukit Bintang tanpa jam. Gitu. Okay, go ahead, Abi.
Yeah, okay, new Gen Z, okay. So we actually have a new
terpaling Gen Z.
Okay, to calling Gen Z, right? So we actually have new upcoming, the other upcoming stars, new Gen Z generation are looking over like TRX today. Probably, maybe at our senior, they actually how they look at KLCC actually evolve. And Gen Zs today are looking at how TRX actually build up and bloom up today. So TRX actually, for information, is our new financial hubs. Okay, so as per today, we actually is a mixed development consist of malls. We actually have TRX Mall, we actually have corporate towers, and also quite a number of bank actually shifted their HQ towards here. We have RHB, Affin, HSBC, Kenaga, and other corporate towers or other companies that are coming in like Prudential, Huawei, TS Law, Wisma actually, and so on that's coming in this area. This is why they're developing this area. It's not only for like for living, for financial hubs. They also do up a park here to make it more livable. I guess they're actually trying to make something like KLCC, where KLCC also have parks, but the lacking in KLCC and the difference in TRX is KLCC actually is very, very big. And talking about different areas of KLCC, last time we would say maybe the main attractions, Airbnb was actually more closer toward Petronas Twin Towers. Then maybe to Penang, Jalan Penang area is more towards corporate towers area, and Conley area is more towards residential or big sizes, more towards a family-oriented kind of layout. But TRX today is actually, comparing the size of acres might be actually smaller, but it come up with a lot of components in this area. So let's see how actually TRX will perform, or how it actually performed today in our rental and our transaction use later on. Okay, so this is TRX, just for you guys information. So it's about 70 acres of development, consist of close up to 40 billions. And talking about TRX as per today, we talk about corporate towers, right? So we talk about working opportunities that are going to be created in this area. And mainly, I guess, it's more towards a white collars or higher kind of expect, or higher kind of salary, different kind of expect comparing to others corporate towers in others areas, where they're going to mainly about financing areas in this area. So we also have 17 acres of lifestyle district of 10, consist of 10 acres of park, where I actually talk about how they were trying to make something else like KLCC Park, and they also built a central park in TRX area as well. So this is some of the bank, some of other companies that's actually in here. We have, for information, TRX actually was mainly built by Lendlease, this Australia-based company. Other than that, we also have Mulia Group coming in, China Constructions, IJM. Other than, we also mentioned about HSBC, Affin back just now, right? And also Prudential, Tabung Haji that's coming in as well. So we talk about Bukit Bintang nightlife as per today. Just now, we have talking about a luxury or ultra luxury, consist of pavilions or star hills. And Bukit Bintang actually evolved from like financial hubs, or even from the center of gravity of Plaza Sungai Wang towards the main attraction today was actually pavilion. And other talking about shopping in this area is also have a lot of eateries, and consists of different kind of background like Mid-Eastern, Western, or even those very famous is actually Jalan Alo, where we talk about it. Also go and eat like the wings, chicken wings, right? So it's Jalan Alo. Then if you wanted to go for like clubbing, nightlife, you go to Changkat, Bukit Bintang for that. So this is how Bukit Bintang nightlife as per today, comparing to last time. You're talking about Pudu, maybe you talk about Sungai Wang Plaza. So we talk about how Bukit Bintang versus KLCC, a different kind of master plan, where actually they shifted from like Bukit Bintang as the very, very old kind of financial hub, and comparing to KLCC today. But will actually KLCC sort of like becoming Bukit Bintang? I guess my take is it won't, because Bukit Bintang last time actually not much of corporate towers were actually built there, comparing to KLCC, where actually they make KLCC as a great master plan of like grade A towers. A lot of oil and gas companies started there, and also other financial hubs actually shifted towards KLCC. But if you're comparing KLCC as per today, look at Bukit Bintang, it's more towards like commercials, malls, and KLCC is a mix where you have mainly about corporate towers and some of it residential, and also I guess the mall actually livable, like the most the living one in KLCC is actually the Surah KLCC, which is not really comparable Bukit Bintang. So I guess it's like two different identities. Like Bukit Bintang we talk about is about malls, eateries, and KLCC we talk about working opportunities, Petronas Twin Towers. So it's sort of like two different things. So my take is I don't think it will be going to be something like Bukit Bintang, even though TRX is coming up. So what do you guys think about this? So we have the Orchard where we talk about like for Singapore, right? About luxury or ultra luxury, we talk about shopping, right? Is comparing to like our neighboring country is about Orchard in Singapore. So this is how we compare how actually like the attraction towards foreigners. The opening of NN2H will attract more foreigners to move towards like Bukit Bintang as the second home, where we actually have the HSL that's coming out in the planning. When I asked, actually I have aunties from Singapore, actually there's some Singaporeans cousin as well. They actually preferred to stay in KLCC or even Bukit Bintang because it's actually more similar towards their lifestyle in Singapore. We're actually more connected, where you have like eateries and shopping malls within the walking distance, just like their life in Singapore as well. So this is why we're actually taking this comparison like Orchard versus Bukit Bintang today.
I think just cover a little bit, right? Orchard Road, I would say is middle to luxury to ultra luxury, right? That's somehow, you know, Orchard Road lah. After been there a couple of times, right? The availability of street food is not available at Orchard Road, which I find it to be quite interesting, right? And I think there are people who sell like, you know, this roti ice cream kat luar Orchard Road, but I think that's about it lah from availability point of view. So this might not be something that our Singaporean brothers and sisters might want to hear, but I think Bukit Bintang beats Orchard Road lah. From a dining, shopping and walking and chill experience. I don't know, Sean, have you been to both?
You need to add in a little bit more danger factor, so
Yeah. It's a lot more exciting because it's a lot more dangerous too.
yeah.
There
So
you go, you know.
so you have the two streets, right? Then if you look left and right, there will be like lorong.
Yeah.
But I think in Orchard tak ada lorong tu.
You know, even ada pun nothing will happen to you if you enter any lorong.
Yeah.
You know, the lorong in Singapore is boring. In Malaysia, the lorong is very interesting. You have no idea what you're going to find.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find rats walking around, right? Sometimes you find people peeing on the street, right? So and you can smell peace water in Bukit Bintang lah. So you know, you never know what you're going to get in Bukit Bintang.
Yeah.
So yes. You know, so it's a little bit more adventurous lah, I would say.
It's louder too.
It's louder too, yeah.
Like when you like from Pavilion walk over to Bukit Bintang, you will walk past the station of MRT before you go to the monorail. And that turn, then you will have security guards screaming at you if you hold a camera. You saw all this kind of So I think the entire experience. I think the walkway is also less covered.
It's not, yes.
Compared to Orchard more covered.
Yeah.
Then for Bukit Bintang less covered. So if rain, right? Not.
Yep.
That's why it's a good business to sell umbrella in Bukit Bintang. You see a lot of people selling umbrella during the raining day. You see a lot of people standing and selling umbrella.
And flowers too, right? And you know, everything lah on the street lah. So you know, just a bunch of you know, random people selling random stuff.
But something we just highlight also, I think the roads in front of Pavilion, that Raja Julan area, Jalan Sultan Ismail intersection, right? has changed many times in terms of directions.
Betul?
Last time it's two ways, then
Correct.
one way, then some one way for a while, then some two way for a while. So that they keep experimenting the flow just to ease the traffic because it's getting worse and worse.
Doesn't work though.
Yeah, since
The traffic is still terrible lah.
yeah, so like from the TRX corner to Bukit Bintang, you have a 6-lane road squeezing into 2-lane right, 2-lane straight, 2-lane left. Wow, though that's the worst.
Correct.
But,
Go ahead,
but
Albi.
yeah.
Sorry, Sean, you were saying?
No, so I'm just thinking also like from an infrastructure point of view, that's as wide as you can go already.
So I think if you ask me what's my observation from a traffic congestion point of view, the primary reason why traffic gets quite congested, especially after passing by pavilion, right? So you go from the back of the pavilion to the front of pavilion. The prime reason why there's jam is because right after pavilion, people can do double parking right on the street. So basically, he went from a 4-5 lane to suddenly become 2 lane, right? And there's no police, no one basically shooing people to not park there lah.
Yep.
Right? So I find it to be quite strange. In many cases, similar to in a way Bangkok lah, I guess, right? Bangkok.
So
yeah,
this is from a pedestrian point of view, but from a car owner's point of view, what's hot right now in my circle of friends, I don't understand until now, but they are now going into refurbish old structures between pavilion and TRX. So now you have all the old bungalows all turned into restaurants, and it becomes like this grumpy game, like a grumpy bagel you need to line up then you have all the old refurbished old houses, all the landed houses all got refurbished into retails, and they have lines after lines after lines of people in the middle of the day.
I thought you said grumpy gays.
No, grumpy bagels. Grumpy bagels. So there's a new trend of like when you say F&B, right? Suddenly it bring me like to the fine dining for Indian food also, called Fla. Fla also, they kind of converted the old bungalow into a restaurant. So now, as I just recently went to TRX also documenting, flying drone around, you see all the old landed houses lah. I think the one that is not developed is only those with multiple names on their title. Don't know where the relatives are lah. I think lah.
Correct. Yeah. Continue, Albi.
Okay. I'll continue from there. So talk about the next new our upcoming star is actually TRX, right? So TRX is our financial hub. So comparing to Singapore, the financial actually located in Marina Bay, where you have all the central banks or all the financial banks actually situated their HQ over there. We have DBS, UOB, OCBC, Standard Chartered, Alliance Bank, Citibank, HSBC, JP Morgan, or even in TRX today, we have HSBC, Prudential, Affin, some other corporate company, we have Mulia, Lendlease, Brucer, Standard Chartered, and also ICBC. So we are looking forward for like TRX to sort of be our new financial hubs. And also there's being like incentive being given towards corporates, company or even banking who actually started or even like move their HQ into TRX. There will be some incentive we are going to discuss later on. So on the next slide, so we talk about office rental in this area. So we just now comparing like Orchard as a commercial area, even Marina Bay as a financial hubs. When we soon will have the HSR coming up. So the question is always be like, will it help Malaysia's economy and on what kind of situation it will help? So will it actually make like a Singapore company shift or some other foreign company wanted to make their offices or HQ in KL today? Because with HRL, it's connected probably about like 90 minutes, you can just reach Singapore. So with this, we wanted to discuss this office rental in KL. As per today, Pavilion Towers, the Bukit Bintang rental is about 7 to 9 ringgit per square feet. TRX today is considered the most expensive one. It's 19 to 15. Some even go up to 18 ringgit per square feet. For KLCC, it's about 12 to 15. So from these three different areas, you can see, right? So Pavilion, or even we can say Bukit Bintang, actually is the lowest because their background as per today is mainly focusing more on like commercials, comparing towards TRX and KLCC. KLCC is more about corporate towers, but TRX today is more about financial hubs. Hence, the per square feet wise for the rental for office is the highest among these three areas. So next one, we're going to talk about boosters that actually or potentially will make a difference in this area. So the first one you talk about is HSR going to be a boosters in this area with the connections of it between Malaysia and Singapore. This is why just now we talk about office rental to bring you guys an idea with this kind of like sort of like affordable kind of office rental, where actually Singapore or outside company wanted to make their HQs in Malaysia and pull more investment or created more working opportunities in this area. Where we talk about working opportunities, then we talk about how it actually will affect some of like residential areas, because some of it would actually choose to stay within the walking distance or within the vicinity, because we all know all of these tier 1 areas actually very crowded and very jammed during the peak hours, right?
So I think I will add a little bit over here. We are under the view at FACAP, right? That today Bukit Bintang and TRX is already quite well priced. So that means you already price it at the peak as of today, right? So the probability of anyone entering any new development or new primary market today, looking to buy Bukit Bintang, looking to buy TRX, the probability of them making money is very, very small. Why? Because primary market property is expensive, right? We're looking at what? On average of roughly about 1,600 ringgit per square foot on average of new launch, all the way to as high as 2,500 ringgit per square foot. Okay? So I'm just going to be very, very honest. None of this property will be positive cash flow. None of this property will give you a 20 or 30% capital gain in the next 10 years. Okay? So as things stand as of today, this is our view. Right? Developers price it accordingly because they want to sell you the location bullshit, right? Because there's not much better location than Bukit Bintang or KLCC as of today. And they understand that. Right? So therefore, they want to price the product to be as premium as possible to maximize profit. So far, you guys following? Right? So based on current price point today, people who enter Bukit Bintang and TRX in the last 5 years and for the next 5 years, based on today's price point, most likely won't make any money. Okay? So the only time you make money out of Bukit Bintang and TRX properties, most likely, number one, unless you buy at anything between a 40 to 50% discount versus list price, that's one, right? That's how you make money. You buy at 40 to 50% discount. So number two, you need something new that will rejuvenate the whole area. They will bring additional demand for the area. And in our point of view and in our opinion, as of today, there is no more important infrastructure or booster that Bukit Bintang and TRX can get other than high-speed rail. Okay? Now, our logic, simple. 2 reasons. Number one, with the high-speed rail, you are cutting connectivity from central Singapore to central KL area within 1.5 hours. Right? So in a way, within 2.5 hours, you'll be in Bukit Bintang already. From Singapore, passing by immigration, all the way to Bukit Bintang, 2.5 hours. So from a commuting point of view, it is far more superior to travel this way compared to going to the airport. right? Because you go to the airport, you need to be 1.5 hours earlier, 1 hour flight, right? And then from the airport in KL, coming all the way to Bukit Bintang, KLCC, you're talking about 1 more hour, right? It's actually also quite tiring, right, to fly this way. High-speed rail, completely different animal. It's a lot more comfortable, right? So people can even do day trip. Okay, so with high-speed rail, we foresee two possibilities. Number one here is that the demand for office and commercial space, especially for office, because office space in Singapore cheap or expensive, guys? What do you think? Right? In Singapore, is it cheap or expensive to rent an office? Right? It is very expensive, right? So it's a good alternative for companies to have a satellite office in Malaysia, right? So like a lot of comment like expensive AF, right? So which as fuck, right? So for those who don't know what AF means, so these are youngsters near ayat, which I know, right? So Singapore is not affordable basically, right? So for any companies, if they can basically shut down 50% of the office space in Singapore and move 50% to Malaysia, the cost saving is actually quite significant, right? For two reasons, right? You save on office space rental, you also save on, right? You also save on salaries. Because salaries in Malaysia is a lot cheaper compared to Singapore. Okay, so number one, if the demand for office space increases coming out of Singapore because high-speed rail, and naturally condos and residential will also benefit. Okay, so number one. Number two, right? Number two, you also have tourism, right? So today, a lot of people find it mafan to go to KL because just KL. You might as well just take a flight to maybe Australia or something, right? So there are two things with high-speed rail. Number one, more office take up, more corporate MNCs looking to house some portion of their department manpower in Malaysia, right? Because high-speed rail make it possible to commute quickly, right? Number two is basically tourism, right? So high-speed rail will be a big beneficiary, especially for office space in TRX, right? Because there are not many grade A office area, super well-connected area like TRX in KL. Because you might be talking about Bandar Malaysia, right? Bandar Malaysia is going to be a 10-year project. So while waiting for that to happen, TRX is basically ready or almost ready. So we think TRX will be a big winner with HSR being announced, especially from an office and commercial activity. Okay? From tourism and shopping, Bukit Bintang will be a winner. Right? Bukit Bintang will be a winner. Okay? So we think the most important infrastructure that will push everything upwards, rental of office, occupancy rate, number of people looking to stay, number of people looking to shop in this area will actually be high-speed rail. Okay? So, and my prediction here is that with high-speed rail being announced 2 or 3 years post-announcement, you'll probably be looking at a rental increase of what, 30 to 40%, 30 to 50% in this area, and property values also increasing, right? In the same manner. So in our opinion, like I said, the biggest booster for this area will actually be high-speed rail, right? So yeah.
I'll continue from that about our next boosters. And I think at the first part when I do the sharing, but it's actually a pictures of the site clearing of our TRX too. About urban quarters. Probably will be the new things that coming out in TRX which is a bit different or separated from the first site of TRX as a financial hub. So this is the next booster. Take some time to develop as well, but actually they started their site clearance in the area. So actually more nearest towards the downward area, more nearest towards I guess is continue area or we have IKEA's areas towards that side.
Just for context, right? So a lot of people know where TRX is, right? So TRX is very, very clear. A lot of people don't realize there's TRX2. So TRX2 is actually on the south, right? Land on the south, right? Is very near towards the Pudu market, right? So TRX2 is basically the next large piece of land lah, basically in the area, because as you can tell, in Bukit Bintang itself, right? Tak banyak tanah, right? So tinggal sikit. Okay. So yeah, that basically is TRX2, right? TRX2, which is separated by the Jalan Sultan Ismail, which is separated by Jalan Sultan Ismail. Yeah. So there are two things. Like I said, there will be a beneficiary to both TRX and Bukit Bintang area. Number one is the high-speed rail, when that announced, right, and when that's materializing. And number two, you can look forward to more upcoming developments and more jobs being created coming from TRX2, yeah, instead of just TRX1.
So this is some exciting news that I actually wanted to discuss just now about our PM Anwar's actually announced that TRX as our international finance centers, and also incentive for those companies who actually wanted to relocate their HQs or offices towards this area. They talk about like incentive and tax exemption on 70% of the statutory income for a period of like 5 years for property developers, and stamp duty exemption for those companies who actually reside their offices towards TRX. So probably they actually will actually attract more company to pull from like outside or foreign investor to actually set up their company in Malaysia. Because of our rental office, the rate actually is much more affordable, and also this incentive that's actually given up by our PM Anwar. So that's about that. So I probably will pass the floor to Zari to talk about investment and also transaction part.
Okay, thank you, LB. Hello, everyone. Zari here from research. So I'm gonna continue on investment part. Okay, 7 criteria. Okay, so these are the criteria that we use in order to purchase property so that you don't lose money. You make money if you follow the 7 criteria. And today I'm gonna cover mostly on the median and the new versus old, which is the 2 criteria that I think is the top important ones that you have to check out and make sure that you guys didn't exceed or didn't buy higher than the price of median. So we establish a median of the area. We also establish a new median of the new and median of the old. So there should be a difference of these 2 median. Bukit Bintang is an area that I was quite familiar with, especially my teenage years. I always compare with Shibuya kan, in Japan, where there's a crossing dekat depan Sungai Wang tu. But if you guys have a look today versus those 10, 15 years back, how much does actually the Bukit Bintang have changed? I don't really see much. There's not many developments, new developments. The area wasn't really refurbished much. And that actually disappoints me to the point that I have a look into this transaction and I understand why. Right? And yeah, I also feel surprised when I see Bukit Bintang transaction is only 201 transactions for the past 2.5 years. So if we were to compare this together with KLCC that we presented, I think last month, it was about 340 plus transactions for the same period of time. So there are less transactions in Bukit Bintang. And this is also combining with IMBI or TRX. So it's only 200 transactions. Last 2 weeks, we checked out Mont Kiara. It was about 950 transactions for the same period. So yeah, it's considered very low transactions, considering there's a lot of developments, especially the old ones in Bukit Bintang. Okay, and then check the new median in this area. It is around 1 million, quite similar to KLCC median, and the median of the old about 1 million as well. So the reason probably is because of the size, probably. And there's a big gap of the median of old and then the new ones. You can see about half or double for new versus the old ones.
Very quick question. Do you guys think the reason why we have this super low transaction coming out of Bukit Bintang It is because they are lack of sellers or they are lack of buyers. Which one do you think is the answer, guys? Lack of buyer ke lack of seller? Let's see. Okay. Now, I'm under the view that it is actually not due because not many people want to sell, but it is largely due because there are not many people want to buy Bukit Bintang. Look, who's going to buy Bukit Bintang as of today? Right? Is it livable, Bukit Bintang? I would argue that Bukit Bintang is a worse place to stay than KLCC. Right? So today, the reason why, from a transaction point of view, right, when you compare, right, Bukit Bintang only has got 201, right? KLCC almost double of that. I think about 70-80% higher. Mont Kiara has got 5 times higher, right? It's a lot more livable. So again, guys, when you buy investment product, you have to understand when you buy in certain areas, you have to understand who to exit to. Okay? So if I were to give a stock market analogy when it comes to Bukit Bintang, right? The stock price is very high, but very little transaction activity. There's no volume. Faham ke tak faham, guys? Do you agree with the analogy? Right? For those who are investor looking to buy stock, right? So price very high, very little volume. Okay? So that's basically my take lah. Yeah. So continue, Dari.
Okay, I think it's an important question by Faizul just now, right? Whether there's a lack of buyer or seller. Because here you can see the blue one is the new one, new development, new launch, new completed developments. You can see it is the least transacted. Actually, in total, there's about 12 only transactions of new developments. Mainly it's the Pavilion Suites and also Tribeca. There's 2 developments only that's actually transacted. And if you can see the price actually is skewed towards the left side. So you can see the below 500,000 and 500,000 to 1 million is most of the transaction is. And what I can say is most of it is the old developments that was transacted. Okay, the 2 million, 3 million above actually is coming only from Pavilion. So Pavilion Suites, Pavilion Residence, that's the only development that is transacted above 2 million. And 1 million plus is the mix of new and old, and also including the Pavilion Residence as well. So most of the transactions that is located closer to Pavilion actually is covering most of the 1 million plus towards 3 million. So the one in Bukit Silon and all is 1 million and below. In general, you can see here, there's a bit of difference. Most of the old ones are the ones transacted in Bukit Bintang. Okay, and then just now we see, right, the new and the old median is about 1 million. But you can see there's really a big difference in terms of the new median per square foot and the old median per square foot. All right, so it's about double or half of the old compared to the new median of developments. All right, and yeah, the old ones is priced around 400 per square foot to around 700 plus per square foot. That's about the old ones, the very, very old ones. Because Bukit Bintang, especially the area where the old ones developments is located, is developed before 1990s as well. So about from 1992 up until 2014. So after 2014, there's a big gap. Nothing was developed actually until there's 1 or 2 developments come in before TRX was developed. So there's really nothing much happening. Only the old developments that has been actually transacted. And yeah, the 1,000 plus to 2,000 plus per square foot is actually Tribeca and the Pavilion's Residence, Pavilion Suite. So the luxury ones probably in the salons, such as probably the Suasana Bukit Silons and Sri Bukit Silons and all that. is still below 1,000 ringgit per square foot. So that's actually the one in the orange bar here. So you can see it's actually most of it is coming from the not so old developments, but it wasn't actually reached 1,000 ringgit per square foot. So I can say there's actually a gap in terms of demands of the new developments, or those actually can pay higher than 800 ringgit per square foot in the area. Okay, so we go a bit on the details. So we separate the Bukit Bintang into pavilion area, which is closer to the pavilions. So around Sungai Wang area up until pavilion. And there's also with the other part, which is Bukit Silon, up until the Jalan Pudu. So Jalan Pudu and below is actually, we classify it as under Pudu part. So here, pavilion area, there's only 46 transactions in total. And from 46, is only 3 is new, which is coming from pavilion suites. So new developments transactions is very, very low here in Bukit Bintang. And the median Bukit Bintang is about 735,000. This actually includes the Bukit Silon as well. So the Bukit Silon actually reduced the median from about 900 per square foot for pavilion. For the whole Bukit Bintang, it goes down to about 650 ringgit per square foot. So there you can see the Silon part actually is below than 650 ringgit per square foot. That's why the median of the whole Bukit Bintang is about 650 ringgit per square foot. You see, over here as well, only the 3 transactions is coming from the new ones, which is pavilion suites, close to 3,000 ringgit per square foot. And there's also a pavilion residence down here, is about 1,400 ringgit per square foot. So the older ones, which is located on top of the pavilion mall, actually is half price of the new residence pavilion suites. So there's new and old big difference in terms of the pricing in Bukit Bintang. And also, studio is not a big favor here. So most of them are buying 2+1 and 3 in pavilion area. So the Bintang Felin, pavilion residence, and Fahrenheit 88 is among the favorites closer to pavilion side. Okay, so just now we're looking at the pavilion side is about 1.25 million, right? 900 ringgit per square foot. So here, the whole Bukit Silon, the median is about 609 per square foot, and the price is about 718,000. So there are more transactions here. You can see about 121. Just now, if you see, is about 38 transactions, right? So here, Bukit Silon, there's more triple transactions compared to pavilion side. And here, all developments that are transacted, it is the old developments. So new developments such as Exxon, there's no transactions of it. Dorset, so there's no transactions. Like in Bukit Silon, pavilion Bukit Silon, which is completed about 3 years ago, there's no transaction. Silons by Axims, Silent Suites, also there's no transactions. So you can see all the new developments in Bukit Silon, there's no transactions at all. So all the old ones, especially the big layout, you can see the 2 bedrooms onwards is covering 73% units transacted. The small ones, studio and 1 bedrooms, only 26 units transacted. And it was also a surprise that this area, it was since 1990s, they have building a small units. You can see in Mutiara Villa and Casa Impian, right? It was very old, but they already started building these small units. And here, today you can buy it actually below 500,000 for a 1 bedroom or even a 2 bedroom in the area, especially those 20 years old. All right, so it doesn't look good since the new developments wasn't transacted at all in this area. So the price of above 700 per square foot onwards wasn't actually, 800 ringgit per square foot onwards wasn't really accepted here. There are only, for example, Laman Silon actually transacted higher than 800 ringgit per square foot. and one at Bukit Silon. So other than that, it's all below 800 ringgit per square foot. So that's Bukit Bintang lah, Bukit Silon part and also the pavilion part, right? So here we have a new area, okay, which is actually IMB previously, located next to Jalan Tun Razak. This is a mega development, TRX area. So we covers also the IMB parts, which is the Menara Bintang Gold Hill, right? 231 and the Forum. These three developments is the one that actually next to Jalan Tun Razak. There's also another one which is Tribeca. This is closer to Pavilion side. But since it's located on the inside part of Jalan IMB, right? So it's closer to TRX compared to Pavilion. So these are the only developments that are new in the area. That's transacted, which is Tribeca. There's about 9 transactions and is about 1,400 ringgit per square foot. So there are actually demand or transactions of about 1,500 ringgit per square foot in this side of Bukit Bintang lah. So yeah, compared to the Bukit Silon and also the one closer to in Pavilion area. So that one over here, there are more transactions of higher than 4,400 ringgit per square foot, which is from Tribeca lah. Okay, the one Dorset near to it, there's no transactions. And for TRX, there are 2 developments that are recently completed, core residence in TRX itself, and also Agile Bukit Bintang. These 2 also doesn't have any transactions as of today lah. All right, so but it's still new. So it's also interesting to see, since we see Tribeca is already 9 transactions at 1,400 per square foot onwards. So potentially Agile and also core should be transacted as well. So but it's still newly completed lah. So we haven't have any transactions today. The older ones, you are looking at around 600 plus ringgit per square foot only. Because these are the one that is not really walking distance to Pavilion or it is really located next to Jalan Tun Razak, and it's very old, especially the Forum 1993. So however, this development is still transacted above 600 ringgit per square foot. 118 area, or the one which is Pudu area lah. So Jalan Pudu and below up until continue. So that area we classify is under 118 area, because actually most of this development is a short drive or short walk towards 118. All right, so there are developments which is closer to 118. There are developments which is closer to the Berjaya Times Square. Okay, so this area as well, the new developments also not really being accepted or transacted here. So there are only 7, and 5 of it is coming from Lucentia, the BBCC Pudu, right? So 5 of it is coming from there. So about 1,500 ringgit per square foot. Continue, there's only 2 transactions, about 770 ringgit per square foot. So these 2 developments is the one transacted for new. The old one is quite a lot, probably because of the 118 developments in the area. So, and the rejuvenation of the Pudu J, right? So these 2 probably the reason why these developments are being transacted. Especially you can see Swiss Garden, Casa Mutiara. Yeah, these 2 developments is actually really close to 118 area. So for this old developments, which is most of it is before 2015, right? So it's only the Majestic is about 1,000 ringgit per square foot, which is the newest one. But other than that, it's 800 ringgit per square foot and below lah. The one actually closer to Berjaya Times Square, Kenanga Point, is actually the lowest, 400 plus per square foot only. That's I think probably the most dodgy part lah of Budu. So yeah, there goes the price. And there are also actually developments which is new other than Lucentia and Continue, which is the Robertson. So however, Robertson, if there's no transactions of that, I think the developer is still selling some of the units from what I see from the transactions. Still a primary transaction direct from developer lah. So yeah, similar case to Ceylon's Pudu also. Most of the transactions is coming from the old ones. So 117 out of 124 transactions of 118 area is coming from the old ones. Yeah, so that's pretty much about it. There's a big gap in terms of the asking of the new developments, of the new ones versus the old ones. The old ones, most of it is transacted in general for Bukit Bintang, TRX, right? So 800 ringgit per square foot and below. And the new completed ones still haven't really transacted much. Yeah, because of probably of the price gap, which is big between the old and new ones. So yeah, that's the roughly the summary that I can give to you guys. Okay, so I pass the floor next to LB to continue on the rental yield of these developments.
So I'm going to continue about the rental yield for my side. So just now Zari also segregated the area into like pavilions, Bukit Salons, TRX, 118 area. So we focusing on our first slide is about pavilion area. So we have those side pavilion suites. Bintang 5 actually considered quite old. And Exxon and so Banyan Tree considered sort of like a premium or branded suites in the area. So as a conclusion in this area, for the rental per square feet wise, actually generally is about for new one is above 6 to 7 per rental per square feet, and the yield is about 5 to 6%. Excluding our pavilion suites, because the asking per square feet, or even when they were launched, it's actually launched about net about 3,000, and today is asking about close to 3,000 as well. That's why making the yield of it very low in this area comparing to others. Because you comparing like Dorset or like Exxon or even Pavilion Banyan as well, the price of it is like almost half of it towards our pavilion suites. That's why the yield for pavilion suite actually is the lowest among all in this area. But the rental per square feet wise is relative comparable towards like Dorset and also new Exxon and so Pavilion in this area. So next slide. We will talk about Bukit Salon area, which actually consider not really the main focus or closest towards our pavilions commercials area. So for Bukit Salon area, the rental per square feet wise is about 3 to 4 ringgit per square feet. The rental yield also is about 4 to 5%. For next slide, we will have the newest in the areas actually from our salon suites by Exim and also Pavilion Bukit Salon. So for this one, their rental per square feet wise is actually above 5. The rental use is for our salon is above 6. For Pavilion Bukit Salon, the most or the best performing one is actually the single bedroom. The one bedroom is close to 7% for their rental yield. So if you wanted to buy salons, asking today is about below 1,000, but Pavilion, because of the name as well, it actually asking for salon area is about 1,002 to 1,004. So generally in Bukit Salon consisted more mainly about the old kind of developments. And in January, the whole Bukit Bintang, they're actually not new upcoming new launches because there's actually not much land to be developed. So that's why even Pavilion Square is actually located beside Jalan Raja Chula. It's actually near to Kuan Lay area, but it's connected. They are link bridge later on, where we're going to discuss later on. And also new upcoming like BBCC is more closest towards PNB area, and the other new upcoming is all in the TRX area, where we don't really actually have much also in salon area to be developed as well. We will also have the 118 area. So the newest in this area is actually Lucentia BBCC. The rental per square feet wise is up to 6 ringgit 40 cent, but the rental yield is still below 4% in below 5% in this area. Is about 4.5 average for the whole area. Is the TRX area. So TRX area, we actually have a lot upcoming in this area. So for the new one, you have Tribeca, Agile, and also Continue is actually closest towards TRX2. This is why I actually segregated Continue under TRX. For rental per square feet wise, if you're talking about new in this area, is 6 to 8 ringgit per square feet for Tribeca and also Agile. Continues is about 4 ringgit because it's for even further down, right? But rental yield wise is 6 to 8%. So among all this area, actually you can see TRX yield as comparing to like Bukit Bintang Salon area or even 118 area. Like Pavilion is about 6, and also Salon area is about 4 to 5% of view, and PNB 118 area is about 4.5, but TRX area is about 6 to 8%. So average about 7 plus for the rental. So TRX per today in terms of view wise actually is outperformed the other area comparing we are comparing just now. So I have the conclusion table on the next slide. I guess you guys will have a better summary of how Bukit Bintang is today. So I segregated in like Bukit Bintang Pavilions, Bukit Salon, 118 area, and also TRX area. So an overall view wise, why is actually Bukit Bintang Pavilion area actually has 2.89, 3.04 or 2.16. I actually wanted to clarify over here. This actually belongs to Pavilion Suites because of the asking and also the transacted per square feet wise is actually very high, making the yield of this development is low. But other than that, the Dorset and also Exxon in the area actually make quite a good yield in the area, because as far as I'm concerned, Exxon is about 1,003 to 1,005 per square feet only. Hence, the rental per square feet wide, and also the rental for Exxon actually with the prices in this area, in this Bukit Bintang Pavilion area, making it the most performing one in this Bukit Bintang Pavilion category for Exxon. But Exxon actually more closer towards Sungai Wang Plaza area. It's just, but it's so called like still on the same street, but just closest towards Sungai Wang Plaza area. So for Bukit Salons, the new one actually we have Salon Suites and also Pavilion Bukit Salon. So the yield is about 4 to 6%. The 1 bedroom is the most performing one in the Bukit Salon area, comparing to the others one. And 118 area, we have the Lucentia, BBCC, Bukit Bintang Residence. Comparing to all the other area, the new, this is the one actually below 5 lah. So for this area. So TRX is all above 6 to close to even 8%. For the rental use wide. So on average for new one in Bukit Bintang is about 5.47. For old one, average is about 4.68%. So this is about KLCC summary. I just wanted to make a revision about KLCC because we started with the center of gravity in our plaza, Sungai Wang. Then we have the new upcoming master plan in KLCC. So just a revision for those who didn't able to attend our KLCC, just to let you guys to see how was KLCC perform in 2 days. So on average, all KLCC on new and old is about 4.41. For if you just wanted to take a more closest comparisons, right? So we take about new one. So KLCC on a summary for new one comparison is about 4.62% on their average yield. Some of it still actually perform quite good, but it depends on which area of it, because KLCC, like I say, is actually quite big area covering like Penang, Jalan Penang area, Jalan Ampang, Yap Kwan Sing area, Stoner area, Jalan Tun Razak, different kind of area, making the central of it to be a bit different. So some of it is more towards family oriented size area. Some of it is more toward investment kind of area. That's why the yield wise is actually much more different. So you guys can refer to this table for KLCC summary. So for next one, we actually have Mont Kiara. Just to do a revision, where we talk about Mont Kiara is the most livable tier 1 area, and we share about how's the yield in the area. So per square feet wise, comparing to like Bukit Bintang and also KLCC area, Mont Kiara areas average is below 1,000, close to 1,000, not below 1,000, it's close to 1,000. But asking today for like new transaction for like small kind of sizes like Worth or Oak, actually above 1,000. But Mont Kiara area is a bit different because it's more towards a family kind of oriented one, because it's much more walkable and also have international school, comparing to like KLCC, you talk about corporate towers, working opportunities, and also Bukit Bintang is more towards like commercial malls, luxury brand. So talking about Mont Kiara is about family schools. So if talk about just about yield wise, Mont Kiara with this affordable or not affordable, kind of very affordable, but comparing to like KLCC and also TRX Bukit Bintang, because this Mont Kiara is close to 1,000, right? So that's why the yield wise is actually quite good because it's above 5 on average, even for old property in Mont Kiara area. So even the super old one, like below 2012, is still close to 5. If you're comparing like KLCC, Bukit Bintang area, all those old one is actually below 5. But Mont Kiara area, regardless of new and old, they are all above 5. Yeah, this is just a conclusion I wanted to make to revise like Bukit Bintang, TRX area, and also KLCC when we're comparing all these tier 1 area. So this is the summary of it. So on the next slide, we're comparing the closest vicinity, right? I can't really put Mont Kiara in here because it's not really comparable in terms of their commercials and corporates background view. So this is Bukit Bintang Pavilion area, Bukit Salon 118, and also TRX and KLCC. So on a conclusion of view, the area yield-wise, TRX as per today, as the upcoming blooming star, the financial hub, it actually has the best yield today. And if you're talking about asking per square feet wise, Bukit Bintang is actually still the most expensive one, mainly due to pavilion suites itself. Because asking for pavilion suites is close to 3,000, right? Comparing if you wanted to buy in Salon area, 118 area, or TRX, or even KLCC area. So rental per square feet wise, Bukit Bintang Pavilion area still stand out in this area, then followed by TRX area and also KLCC. So if you wanted to buy other than Bukit Bintang, if you wanted to buy in KLCC, you actually is close to 1,008 per square feet as well. But the yield wise is not really comparable, even comparing to Bukit Salons or Bukit Bintang area for our KLCC. So as a conclusions, the best performing yield is actually the TRX area because of, just now we talk about the working opportunities, right? In TRX area as the upcoming financial hubs. So KLCC is focusing more on the corporate towers, but TRX is more towards financial hubs. So next
LB,
slide.
just to give everyone a benefit of clarification, right? We are now only comparing new property, right?
Yeah,
So this is just probably new. So guys, so boleh buka ruangan comment, right? So if you have any comment here, right? Number one, we are comparing new versus new. So only new property performance versus new property in multiple areas lah. Okay. So now, can you guys guess why is the rental per square foot and the rental yield for TRX is the best in the comparable, right? Of all these 5 areas. Why do you think TRX is winning? Okay. So we are under the view that the reason why TRX is winning, yeah, it is because the number of new jobs being created. So we always talk about this thing, right? Whereby, you know, people always ask us, right? Why are we in Johor? Why are we in KL? Why in Selangor? Why are we not Penang? So, and the reality why you are in these markets here is because we are in markets whereby there's a lot of new jobs being created, right? So the reason why TRX is winning versus KLCC, is winning against 118, is winning against Bukit Bintang, is largely because the TRX area has got higher number of new job creation versus any of these areas. Okay, so far you follow? And the other significant advantage that TRX has is that it's also next to Bukit Bintang. So that means, right, not only you have jobs, you can also walk to Bukit Bintang and enjoy the shopping district, right? So TRX, in a way, has got the best of both worlds, right? Which is why today, if you look from a rental per square foot, despite having no branded residence, right? So for example, right, why Bukit Bintang is winning here from a price per square foot point of view? Because they've got branded residence in the form of pavilion. TRX doesn't have it, right? If you put, let's say, for example, a branded name in TRX, it's going to win, right? And in fact, I think, you know, when you look at new launches around TRX also, it's also more expensive compared to, as of today, Bukit Bintang, right? So it's, like I said, it's quite evident, right? The number of jobs being created in TRX has basically driven a lot of property value to be upwards. So with jobs, you have high rental. High rental translates to increase of property value. Okay, so far you follow? So which is why we always tell people, number one, if you want to buy property, follow where the jobs are. Okay, you follow where the jobs are. If you follow where the jobs are, you cannot fail. Okay, so if you buy property with only a goal of tourism, so that means if the tourism die, then the area also continue to die together with the area, which is why we don't like to buy something in Genting, right? We don't like to buy something in PD or Malacca, right? Not because we think those properties are bad, it's just that there's no jobs. You're really relying on one rental market, right? So the beauty about your TRX, Bukit Bintang, KLCC, right? These areas, or Mont Kiara, for example, right? These are areas that why it's not just you got a significant level of tourism, right? It's also significant level of jobs being created. Okay, now, however, okay, all of these areas as of today, ironically, right, from a rental point of view, some of the building, right, not all, right, so I would say 99% of it basically loses out to Mont Kiara, right? But from a capital gain point of view, all of this area kalah dengan Mont Kiara, right? From a capital gain point of view, if you look at the new launch, for example, right, from your Tribeca, all the way to Urja, all the way to Pavilion Suites, right? All the way to Banyan Tree. Many of these properties struggle to beat their launch price. I would say the only one today that is basically able to go and do so is potentially, okay? Urja is a possibility, right? Tribeca is a possibility, and maybe Exxon, right? None of them, the rest, right, is able to beat their launch price as of today, right? It's quite remarkable. So what does this basically mean, right? Okay, so the important lesson here is if you want to have some level of capital gain, okay? Now, so this is a very important lesson I'm going to impart to you, right? Because we've covered multiple tier one, right? So, and you'll be wondering, how come tier one all very weird? Right? The best of location, right? It's really the best. There's not many location better than tier one, right? Yet no one is making money, right? Except for Mont Kiara. Okay? So, guys, if you buy high rise, you make money two ways. Okay? Number one, rental goes enough 7-8% to the point. Because rental becomes 7-8%, rental is very high, people get positive cash flow, then people will be able to go pay a higher price point. Right? So that means rental must be very high in order for you to get capital gain, for the price to go up. Number one. Number two here is that the property must also be livable, right? Area is livable. So if you look at the volume of transactions, you can see Mont Kiara has got far greater volume of transaction compared to KLCC, compared to Bukit Bintang, compared to TRX. Okay, so a livable area brings some level of emotional attachment. And emotional attachment normally gives you a premium when you want to sell. Okay? Very important lesson and insight tonight, right? Why some areas of tier one, while rental is quite high, rental per square foot is very high, still couldn't manage to break their primary market price point. And it's largely because of this. Okay? Clear, people? Right, LB, continue.
Okay, I'll take over and continue from here. So next slide. So talking about when just now I talk about Bukit Bintang, like where Zari discussed about the transaction wise, and we can see comparing to last time in KLCC, where most of it focus on big sizes. You can see up like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, even 7,000 square feet in KLCC. So Bukit Bintang actually generally come with slightly small sizes. Even the new launches or even the old launches, the old condos actually come with small sizes. So today we actually wanted to see if you're comparing a small sizes performer in Bukit Bintang today and also TRX as a new upcoming one, and so Mont Kiara, how actually their performance is. So in Mont Kiara, we actually have Oak, Aquarius, and Verve Suites. Actually, generate all of it is the yield is about 5 to 6%. The best performing one actually we have Oak Suites, 2-bedroom, because as we know about Mont Kiara, mainly focusing more towards big sizes, family kind of layout. But we still have like these 3 development that come actually small sizes, but yield wise they're actually still performing good even if the background of this area come with big sizes. So even in comparing to our Bukit Bintang Pavilions area, is quite, the yield wise is actually quite comparable, 5 to 6, but not comparable to our Pavilion Suites, which is actually a branded one, where the asking per square feet is also the highest comparing to all the one we actually have in the list. It's actually 3,000. Other than that is like half of it towards our Pavilion Suites. So salon area, actually the most performing one is actually Salon Suites by Axin. If you're comparing about TRX area, which is actually our coming up stars, right? So the yield is about 6 to 8%, is the best, I would say, for the small sizes performance comparing onto all these new area. So we can see this different background. Mont Kiara focusing more on like family, like what Faizul mentioning just now, right? Where TRX is about working opportunities, where Bukit Bintang's Pavilions area is more towards commercial. Salons is actually further down, I would say is more comparable towards Mont Kiara as a residential kind of view. So in all this area, working opportunities actually given this property market a good view in terms of rental per square feet wise and also the rental yield wise, because you can see the TRX area, their rental per square feet is close to even up to 8 ringgit or even close to 9 ringgit rental per square feet, and the yield is 6 to 8% compared to the other areas. So this is the small size performance that we are comparing today. We have the performance of our newly launched in Bukit Bintang and also TRX. So we wanted to know if you're about to buy today, whether you have like enough buyers, or we say actually whether the markets can actually absorb the price in this area today. So we just wanted to do some comparison about the launch net per square feet and also the transacted per square feet wise. So you can see Dorset, Axon, Salon, and Pavilion Bukit Salon, even Agile, we don't actually have transactions. Pavilion Suites were actually launched at 3,000 net per square feet wide, but today's transacted is still below from their net per square feet, but close to it. And Tribeca today, actually Tribeca falls closer towards TRX area. Their launch net is about 1,008. Today's transacted close to 1,005 per square feet, but it's still far from our new launches in TRX area, where most of the launches in TRX area is selling about 2,000 per square feet today. So we're going to discuss about the under constructions or our battle royale of our all comparison in this area.
I think if you go back,
Where's
I think,
Airbnb?
so I think there's I think we have to probably put some caveat and disclaimer here lah. Agile Bukit Bintang has got a lot of different price point. Okay. So Agile Bukit Bintang, I think at one point at about 1,008, right? 1,800 ringgit per square foot. And the lowest that I know of people buying is actually 1,002 after all of the discount. So Agile here, because of its backstory, right? Very unique backstory per se, right? went from 1008 to below that, and then as low as 1002 is the lowest I've heard anyone bought a jar, right? So the 1350 I would say is not accurate. The rest of them I also don't know. For example, Dorset is about 1008. It's gonna be that high. But I think the rest of them is basically quite spot on. Yeah. Anyone has got any comment on this? If you have heard of anything cheaper. But I think what is the important thing to highlight here is that please open the comment section. Right. Sean, if you hear anything different, let us know too. Right. So what is key here is that if you look from a transaction point of view, the only property with subsale transaction as of today are Pavilion Suites and Tribeca. Right? Pavilion Suites and Tribeca. Right? So, and both of it are not transacted above their launch price. Right? And both of them are not transacted above their launch price. So again, right? So while the yield is actually quite okay, it's pretty decent. But as of today, from a market point of view, there's no volume to a subsale transaction, right? For Bukit Bintang, I think you'll find it quite weird lah. An area which is so happening, so vibrant, a lot of jobs being created, very little number of transactions happening. Okay, so I think that's key lah. Exxon, yeah. Go ahead, Sean.
Something to point out also, like Tribeca, you have average 6 to 8% yield when your interest rate, let's say when it was launched, is about 4 to 5. Then if you revise back now to lower, right?
Yeah.
Technically, you still positive cash flow now, right?
For Tribeca?
Yeah.
I don't know because it depends, right? Because Tribeca, again, SPA price is very high. Then there's a
But
bunch of rebate. Yeah. So
but the yield, but when you calculate yield is 7 to 8%, means your bank interest, let's say if it's 4 or 5, right, you will still make money, huh?
correct. I think it's
And
based on asking price today. So the yield is calculated based on asking price today. So rental today versus asking price for today.
okay,
So it's not
okay,
based on launch price.
okay.
And I guess it's a bit different is because Tribeca, in TRX area before Agile or Core or even TRX residents is repeat, Tribeca is the only and closest choices in the area comparing to those pavilion areas. That I guess that is why making the yield to looks so good, because the competitors for it is actually lesser, because I guess Agile just repeat recently, probably about 2 to 3 months ago. Yeah, and Core just also repeat. So actually Tribeca is the closest towards TRX. That's why the yield of it actually boom out in the area comparing to Pavilion Suites.
Correct. So the yield is calculated based on current selling price or the original selling price?
The current selling price.
Yeah, so that's also another big thing. So like for Mont Kiara, we have like almost 1,000 transactions, right? And you got selling price and rental yield, selling price, rental yield, selling price, rental yield. But this one, your rental yield is so high, but transacted price won't go up. So if you get at least yield, right, of 8%, technically it's very positive cash flow. Then technically, if an investor, like now, I'm so tempted to go into Tribeca like tomorrow.
Well, again, LB did mention already, right? As of today, Tribeca is the only, in a way, is the only option because TRX resident is not yet completed.
Yeah.
Agile just got VP, right? So there are very little competition coming up.
Yeah.
So if you combine those two, right, then let's just assume, right? I think Agile is probably one level below Tribeca. So I think if Tribeca can get a 8 ringgit per square foot, I think Agile should be a 7 ringgit per square foot kind of like property. Because I think from a facilities point of view, I don't know if it's as nice as Tribeca, right? A TRX resident will be higher, right? So today, based on today, because we are at a critical juncture whereby there's no competition for Tribeca, for TRX area, right? So Tribeca looks very good. But you and I both know at the end of the day, there's no such thing as a great property when thousands of units coming in to compete lah.
Yep.
Right? So I think again, for before you guys go and rush to go and buy Tribeca, right? Please bear in mind, okay? Please bear in mind, Tribeca is thriving today because due to a lack of competition around TRX area. Right? So you got jobs being created, which is fair, right? So that's one good thing going for it, right? TRX, Core, Agile, all roughly VP in the space of going to be VP in the space of 12 months. So from a supply point of view, you are still looking at a what in total 2,000 unit supply across all board, right? So there will be new competition, there will be new supply coming in lah. So it remains to be seen whether Tribeca can maintain a very high price per square foot lah.
But I think this is a very interesting point when, okay, so now at this level of supply and demand, it's about this 8% yield. But when 3,000 units comes in, if the yield is still 8%, means the drop really a lot lah. But if it drops, then like I'm just very curious because if like I don't think Core and Tribeca is also the same category. But I think Core is also like one level higher inside lah. I think it's all inside. So yeah, so from a spectator point of view, this is very, very interesting.
Yeah. So I think there's a comment already saying that Core residents asking rental is 10 to 11 ringgit per square foot.
Whoa.
So for me, anyone can ask anything lah. I can also ask my Kepung property 20 ringgit per square foot. Doesn't mean I'm gonna get it lah. So asking is asking.
But if that happened, that's the first official 10 ringgit one, right?
Not
No.
a branded suite. But
For a branded property as of today, KLCC has got the only two properties that recorded more than 10 ringgit per square foot. So first is Four Seasons, and the other one is oh my God, what's the name of the property?
the W Hotel.
Not W Hotel. W didn't get 10 ringgit per square foot. It's the other one nearby
Close to
Berjaya.
mine.
Oh, forget it. You have too many property now.
Aiyo.
Okay.
Ritz-Carlton. Sorry. Yeah. So Ritz and Four Seasons are the only one with a recorded transaction above 10 ringgit per square foot. And those are branded residents.
Is Core branded?
No. Right? So Core is not branded. TRX residents are not branded. I suspect it will be somewhere in the region of about 5 ringgit per square foot, all the way to 7 ringgit per square foot.
Halfway.
Yeah. Because like I said lah, if you can fetch, because as of today, there's no property in KL other than a branded residence can fetch above 10 ringgit per square foot. I mean, bloody hell, St. Regis cannot get 10 ringgit per square foot. All right, so St. Regis cannot get 10 ringgit per square foot. I don't know if Core can. So at the end of the day, I think it's gonna settle about 5 to 7. I think the most premium one will most likely be TRX residence, right? Because it's within the TRX itself. That one probably is going to be 7 to 8 ringgit per square foot, depending on the sizes and whatnot. I'm talking about, again, long-term rental, not talking about Airbnb, not talking about medium-term, talking about purely long-term, minimum 1 year lease, right? So that's where we are, lah, guys. Right? So I think someone commented lah, if you have a 600 square foot, 10 ringgit per square foot is 6,000 per month rental lah for 1 bedroom, right? Which is going to be, ridiculously high, right?
Also, I'm also curious, like, who rents 3-bedroom in TRX?
I think if you're a C-level suite, I think it's
why? Like you got 3. Like Mount Kiara, it makes a lot of sense, right? It makes a lot of sense. But for a 3-bedroom in this area, like who?
That's why all of it small size, no? Small size. All of it, new launches, so small size one. Small layout, small sizes. Doesn't really come with big size. packaging
we come to a very interesting time of why we're discussing this. Got a bunch of property going to be newly VP, right? So I think what will be interesting here, the next 6 months is going to be a bloodbath in this area, right? So it's going to be a bloodbath in this area. I as usual I will bet on the cheapest horse. Cheapest horse normally don't lose one, right? So people can bet on which one is the most expensive. Go ahead and go bet. I will bet on the cheapest horse there, right? So because anyhow you need a horse, right? So there will be a lot of people who can afford the cheapest horse there rather than the most expensive one, right? So I think there will be people who are looking for the 3-bedroom, especially your C-level, who don't even have children, but they probably a 40, 50 something. It's quite depressing to stay in a 1-bedroom if you're in your 50s, and you just stay in a 1-bedroom. So yeah, that's how I feel. I think there'll be a market for it, but will there be 1,000 people looking to rent 3-bedroom at a 8 ringgit per square foot? Tak ada
But
lah.
I guess it's different. It's like you see Mont Kiara 3-bedroom is like above 1,005 per square feet. But this TRX Bukit Bintang 3-bedroom is about 1,000 to 1,005. Is like Mont Kiara is like 1,005 and above, or close to 2,000. That's the 3-bedroom size in that. But in this Bukit Bintang TRX area, that
It's a small
even Exxon
3-bedroom,
is-
Sean.
Yeah, it's a small 3-bedroom.
No, so from a product standpoint, right? Is a big studio going to stand out here?
Yes, because you see the from my take is like when you look at the use why, like pavilion suites or salon suites,
Yeah, all the 2 bedrooms all make sense,
actually
ma.
makes sense, make more sense
Than
because
the 3 bedrooms.
the size of it, actually makes more sense.
Yeah, so if I were to build a new building in TRX, I think a big 1+1 would be ideal,
So actually you have your sleeping area and then working areas, working desk.
right? That's all
Yeah.
you need, ma.
Yeah.
3-bedroom. I was just thinking 3-bedroom, right? It's like three executive all rent sekali lah. It's cheaper than one person rent one studio lah. I think that's how I work lah.
But the means price per room becomes like 3,000 ringgit though.
Yeah, so street everyone is
But it's still better than
Assuming the rental is 9,000, right, for a 3-bedroom. So per person, you share a room, do you have privacy? You pay 3,000. I find it to be, I don't know lah. We've done co-living in tier 1, doesn't work. The 3,000 budget, you got other options. You're not going to pay above 2,000 ringgit per room, even in TRX. Well, interesting. We can always look at this and revisit this. My bet here is that none of this property will be above 10 ringgit per square foot, long-term rental. I'm talking about general rule. I'm not talking about one unit, got lucky, no. General rule. General rule, I don't think any of this property will get above 10 ringgit per square foot. Because so far, we haven't seen any evidence of anything above 10 ringgit per square foot unless you are branded residents. And even, for example, things like W didn't get 10 ringgit per square foot.
Close to 10, 8.
So 8 ringgit something, okay, but that's
2 ringgit per square feet, very expensive,
Huh? Sorry?
No,
The
she
two
said
different-
you said almost 2 ringgit is very far, okay?
Yeah.
That's
So
not as true also.
So very interesting lah. Dorset is the old supply together with Pavilion Suites, which is going to be a different area. But yeah, the battle for TRX tenants, I think will be quite massive. Yeah, will
And
be
it's so
quite
close to Cheras, the Velocity side.
Cochrane area.
Cochrane.
Yeah,
So close.
Good. Makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be your external competition rather than internal. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so for next one, we actually have one more to go before we run to our battle royale. We actually have the Airbnb also. It's the comparison of Airbnb mapping. So actually quite interesting when we talk about Bukit Bintang, we talk about pavilions. We talk like actually Bukit Bintang also can do quite good in Airbnb, right? But when I do the plotting for Airbnb, for the listings, why comparing to KLCC, actually Bukit Bintang actually like lesser, and it's like more of like half of it than KLCC listing. Even though Bukit Bintang we have pavilions, we got a lot of food attractions, but Airbnb wise actually not really sort of like very like popular or a lot of listing in this area. And even their daily rate is not really that high comparing towards our KLCC rate. Even in Bukit Bintang, probably a one bedroom or studio is close to like 200 or 250 or 180 also can get in this Bukit Bintang area. For like Dorset, consider quite premium in this area. For a 6 packs is considered a large unit, right? It's about 400, and the occupancy wise for this Bukit Bintang is about like 60 to 70% on average current occupancy. Some of it might actually stand up close to or higher, depending on the view. So even Bukit Bintang, they also sell KLCC view to actually get a better occupancy or a daily rate. So on the next slide, just to bring you guys a comparison of our KLCC, this is our KLCC mapping, right? So when I actually getting the occupancy or so daily rate, I actually take a more closest comparison. So when we talk about KLCC, we talk about Petronas Twin Tower, right? So most of the listing I actually gathered and also occupancy come with those nearest or closest towards Petronas Twin Tower. Where in Bukit Bintang, the listing actually closest towards pavilion suites or pavilions itself, the area, more rather than
Sense.
salon area. So actually we have a much more comparable. If not, people asking, why Bukit Bintang is so bad or why KLCC sounds so good? Because I guess some area in KLCC actually couldn't really make that high of rate. So I just want to make it clear over here how actually I make the comparisons. It's the closest comparisons lah towards the central of attractions in these two areas. Yeah. So that's actually about our Airbnb. Even in KLCC, a single bedroom or suites actually can close up to 300, comparing to our Bukit Bintang just like 200 or 250. A big group size in KLCCs can even rent up to 800 per night. Yeah, that's how crazy KLCC Airbnb rates is, and also the occupancy comparing to Bukit Bintang. So next, we will actually go out to our under construction, our Battle Royale today. So I just briefly go through all the settlement that we have today. So next, we actually first one we have Pavilion Square located beside Jalan Raja Chulan. Something to highlight over here is actually a leasehold, and just now Sean mentioned right about the studio size. So the studio that by Pavilion Square is 500. It's not comparing to KLCC. The studio size is 300, so small, right? Where they cater more to Airbnb. So towards this area, the size of it won't actually go up to very small. It's generally like a middle range of it. So this Pavilion Square actually just going for a pre-launching. So Bumi wise, the net per square feet is about 2001. Non-Bumi is about 2002 per square feet. So something to highlight here about facilities is actually they will have the sky pool, sky lounge, and also comparing to some others that we're going to discuss later on, some of it actually doesn't come with like sky pool or sky lounge or sky garden in this area or sky gym lah. So, but something to highlight is Pavilion Square is actually a leasehold, comparing to most of the TRX area is actually a freehold one. So on the next, we actually have Barrington Suites by Exim, which actually is closest towards Berjaya Times Square or our Sunway Plaza area. So next slide is Barrington Suite by Exim's Jalan Imbi. So I guess when we discuss about most of it come a big size. So this is actually the one that comes with the, like I would say, extreme small size in comparison in all those diamonds in this area. So this will come with 344 square feet in terms of their size. It's a leasehold. Selling about today net about 2,000 per square feet or 2,002 per square feet. So they come with sky pool, sky gym. So this is comparing in the Bukit Bintang or Pavilion area. We have Pavilion Square and also Barrington Suites for it. So for this Pavilion area site. So for next one, we actually have the one closest towards 118 area or Berjaya Times Square area. We have Times Square 2 coming up in the area. It's a freehold. comparing to the one we have discussed before. Two of it actually is a leasehold, but this is a freehold, and per square feet wise is generally more affordable, is about 1,250 or close to 1,003. It also comes with similar spec with a sky lounge, rooftop pool, and also rooftop gym as well. So next one, we have TRX comparisons. We have core residents, especially along Jalan Kampung Pandan. We bid recently. We bid this month. It's a freehold one. Net per square feet as per today is about 2,000 per square feet. This one is a freehold as well. It comes with also rooftop pool and gym. Comparing to our next one, actually TRX residence, which actually the specs wise it doesn't come with a rooftop pool and gym. So TRX residence is located above the TRX mall. So something to highlight here is TRX residence actually is the one come with I would say the most unit is 2,400 units. Most of the units that actually we discussed before actually is all below about like below 500 or close to 600, nothing more than that. But TRX residence is actually the one with the highest density, close to 2,400 units in this one development. So actually come with tower A and B. So the net per square feet wise is about 1,008 and 2,004. Why actually 1,008 is because during COVID times, that actually someone who actually bought TRX residence at just 1,008 per square feet. So, but today, I guess if you wanted to buy, it's about 2,004 lah, okay? You just want to clear the air. If not, people ask, why TRX residence sells so cheap? Why didn't see it? Actually, that was during COVID time that actually they adjusted the price. Okay, so from our next slide is our Orion residence at the middle between Pavilion also our TRX located at Jalan Gading, freehold, low density, net per square feet wise about 2,002 per square feet. So this one actually doesn't come with like rooftop pool and gym. Most of the rooftop facility is actually more towards like restaurant, fine dining area, and also sky lounge. So on our next slide is our Ajal at Jalan Bukit Bintang. Repeat, one of the block is still under construction. So consider or highest floor is about 60 floors. Net per square feet wise about 1,350, close to 1,004. The facilities wise, actually this doesn't come with rooftop pool and gym as well. Tak ada. So it's actually at level 10 swimming pool and the gym. So the sky one is actually the sky garden and also sky dining area. So that's for TRX comparison. So I just wanted to sum up. In Bukit Bintang Pavilion area, we have Pavilion Square and also Barrington Suites. So two of it actually is a leasehold, and net per square feet wise is above 2,000. So Pavilion Square is about 2,001 to 2,002. Barrington is about net per square feet is about 2,000 to 2,002 per square feet. So if you're talking about TRX area, we have core residence. We have also TRX residence, Orion, Ajal. All of it is actually freehold. So something to highlight here is most of it come with the net per square feet is above 2,000 or close to 2,000. But Ajal is the one net per square feet is slightly below. It's about 1,003 to 1,004. So if you're asking about close to 118 area is Tan Square 2, is a freehold, and the per square feet wise is the cheapest among, not cheapest, okay. The lowest or more affordable is about 1,250. Okay, but the area wise is different. It's close to towards 118 area. So if you're talking about to invest in this financial hub, then the main attraction would actually on TRX area. If you're talking about Pavilion sites area, then it would be Barrington Suite or our Pavilion Square. Okay, that would be our undercon. So actually I wanted to bring out our panelists today to actually discuss or battle about which one will actually be your pick. And if you're about to given a chance to invest in this or TRX or Bukit Bintang, which one actually you will go for it?
So before that, I want to ask the crowd open comment. So out of the 6, which horse are you betting on? Before panel jawab, right? So let's ask people. Okay.
But before that, I just want to shout out to the research team for such a job well done. I think it's so complicated, right? That I'm still braining all the slides just now. So you guys really just justified, right? Like why I pay you guys money lah. to do, like a lot of people like think about why I still want to get you guys your punya services. It's not so much for the deal, but all this info itself, right, saved me tremendous amount of time.
Yeah.
So but the worst thing is after you listen to this slide and this presentation, you also still don't know what to buy, right?
So I had an interesting conversation with a client who attended our property tour this weekend, right? Which was yesterday, right? And he said, "Hey, I love Battle Royale, but I could only understand 50% of what is being discussed." So I had to point out to him that the actual data accumulated to come to certain conclusion, what you see in Battle Royale is only 30 to 40% of what is accumulated. If you have to present the full data, this Battle Royale will be an 8-hour session.
Yeah.
Well, we all don't need to sleep already lah. So we had to dumb down a lot of the contents. We have to simplify a lot of content. We have to do a summary, and one of the main reasons because we want people to, hey, after spending 3 hours, I need to know what's a summary lah. After watching Capital's Battle Royale, right? So yeah. So but again, it's just there's just crazy amount of data, and in fact, I think what I think is very critical for us has always been defining the border, defining the area. But it's such a complicated thing, right? Because everyone, for example, like Times Square, right? So like, it's Pudu lah.
Yeah.
Right? It's Pudu, right? So and here you are selling at 1,002, right? So it's cheap. So I think defining the border is very important, because I think defining the border allow people to make certain decisions, and after that, then you look at the price point and you see lah, right?
Yep.
So I think okay. So I think we've got a lot of comments here. So I think majority of the comments is probably looking at about, I think, Times Square 2, right? And Jar, I guess. Some of them comment Brannigan's. Yeah. But majority is gonna be Times Square and Brannigan's. Okay. One got TRX there lah. Okay. So let's go. William, which one do you go first? Tak boleh lah. Actually, William pointless to ask him. He's got vested interest. Tak guna punya tanya dia.
Oh no.
Tak ada lah.
I got minimal vested interest. Right. But actually want to point out also, Orion actually is about 2.5 to 2.8K lah, net wise per square feet. Because it's being marketed as the one that with a Rolls Royce concierge for the owners only. So I think the SPA is about 3K per square feet. SPA wise.
Okay,
net about 2.5K plus.
Okay, so to pre-qualify these things to everyone, right? So okay. We rewind back 4 years ago, right? During COVID, right? All of the developments that we discussed was actually bought at a completely different price point compared to today. So I think that's the pre-qualifier number 1, right? Because at that point of time, you got border being closed. There was a lockdown. Tier 1 property all suffer like crazy. Like very, very bad lah. Okay? So for example, one of the properties here, right? The lowest I've heard, right? The lowest I've heard is 1,001, right? SPA price is 2,004. Lowest I've heard is 1,001. Actually being sold to a customer lah. But purchaser price point is different, right? So it's basically similar to KLCC as well, right? So I think so it makes it a little bit more difficult for us to pinpoint what is the average selling price, because you know some of them went from 1001 to 1008. So what's the average? We don't know. All I can give you is a sense of history. There are people who entered rumor, right, at a certain price point, right? So I think just to pre-qualify lah. So if you hear, hey, got people enter this one at 1006, let's say for example, I'm just saying, right? TRX consider 1006. I cannot even disprove that because at the height of the worst situation for tier 1 property, developers were so desperate. Okay, so Far Capital does bulk deal. Okay, so I can tell you, so far from available from a retail point of view, I think we bought the cheapest. But there are people who buy cheaper than me, right? Because they're not bulk purchaser. They are corporates bailing out another company. So they bought at a far cheaper price point compared to even Far Cap. But as far as price to consumer, buyers like you guys is concerned, I don't think anyone has bought cheaper lah. Right. So again, just to give you guys some context, just to give you guys some context, So yeah. William, so which property?
Okay. First of all, Bradingan's totally out lah. I think it's just stupid to buy at that price for that location at. Yeah, I mean Times Square 2. I mean straight out,
very
right?
spicy.
Kasi hang lah.
Wow.
People
What
now
a use of language.
Extreme supporter will hunt for your house address.
I mean the logic is
Most likely they'll post your house address in forum too.
I mean logic is straightforward lah. You can buy 2K per square feet at TRX residence itself, right? Better location, better amenities. So it's just totally out lah, right? And then for Times Square 2, actually I check out the showroom. Quite impressive, right? Although again, like what Faizul said about the average price thing, I think 1250 per square feet is only for the lowest unblock, a block view unit. But I mean comparing the pricing wise, right? Like really on average now, Agile is, I would say, better in terms of the location between Pavilion and TRX compared to Times Square 2, although you got to link which lah to the Times Square and also Lala Port, right? And of course, Orion, Pavilion Square, core actually quite nice. The rooftop pool, my friend checked out, he sent video to me, right? I think it's the best TRX view so far lah. I check out Continue, I check out Agile, but core has the best rooftop view facing TRX itself. So that is, I think it's a perfect view lah of it. But other than that, the price doesn't justify lah. I mean, at that price, I still prefer for TRX residence because of the premiumness, right? Of the, I mean, the product itself. But really, if I go for investment wise, I think still Agile lah in that sense because of the price point about 30-40% cheaper than most of the properties nearby TRX. And yeah, I mean Times Square too, yeah. That but the confirmed thing is Brannigan's totally out lah. Just it's not even in the consideration at all. It's just
Ouch.
as to to buy that price for that location. So that's for me. Thank you. Kasih hangatkan sikit. So next is Zari. What you think, Zari?
Very interesting. I think we have quite a range of properties here, right? First of all, the Pudu side, I'm not really that interested in. So yeah, those developments in that side, I put it aside. I don't mention which one. Yeah, so you guys know, right? I'm more interested in terms of the in Bukit Bintang and also TRX, right? So when you look into Bukit Bintang, Agile looks interesting, right? So about 1,300 to 1,004. But if I have more cash, right, I eligible to buy more higher price property. I actually wanted to go for TRX residence. Reason being, it's inside TRX, so previously we have pavilions, right? Pavilion, there's pavilion suite, pavilion residence. So pavilion residence, 15 years old, transacted 1,600 ringgit per square foot. On top of pavilion, right? So now we have TRX mall. On top of it is the TRX residence. So 2,000, slightly over 2,000 ringgit per square foot. And newer some more. So, and I think inside TRX, which is the really planned township, limited land, right? So that's the probably purchase that's for me is limited and special. I want to buy something that is limited. So if you buy outside of TRS, there's still plenty of lands, right? So yeah, TRS residence for me.
Okay. Alvi?
If more on an investment, I'll pick Agile because of the location and also the price itself. And also the layout 1+1, I guess is actually quite all right for this area. If TRX residents or even comparing cost, I guess I saw a very interesting discussion. Actually, people were discussing is either you choose a Australia kind of brand product or a Chinese developers kind of products of it. But I guess William friends actually sent in the video about core residents. I have a view of it, but let's see how TRX performs. It's because it's above TRX mall. It still have some specialty of it, but in terms of the price wise, I guess it's a bit high for me, but probably for those who actually looking for it, TRX might be a good investment as well. But let's see how's the yield of it later on when it's repeat. And also the rental per square feet, actually everyone discussing a bit above 10 or not in this TRX area. Then we will have the, but Agile as for now, yield wise seems quite all right, quite good. And the per square feet is among these TRX areas actually, I guess is quite affordable. For all the other comparisons. That's why
So which one, Nabi?
Agile.
You want TRX or Agile?
I will take Agile.
Oh,
I'll take
okay.
Agile. Even though it's a bit further from TRX. But
Let's go.
for
Sean?
price,
I think I went to Agile already. The property review is coming out like this week. So so I walked to TRX. So the walk was pleasant. So there will be a 360. So for those who are not around can actually look at the 360 view. Plug in my own YouTube channel. The very weird take. I think if I were to buy on this, right, I think all will also lose money. So what I discovered through all the research that LB and Zairi presented just now was the branding part of things. Like no matter how pavilion overpriced itself, sub-sale still matches one.
2000.
So, and at this price range, right, if I want to preserve my money, I will go for pavilion. That is my take on it. So I have core, I have TRX, yes. But then when you look at like the whole research was skewed just because of one branded pavilion building. And when you say old building, pavilion suites also, I also documented it before. Actually, nothing great inside that. Okay, nothing
You're
great
right.
inside nothing great inside. But the very unpredictable, unbelievable kind of phenomenon is people were still willing to buy for a trophy. So when at this supposedly high income location, I would take pavilion. Because at this rate, when everybody is going for investment, right, everybody will buy Agile until it doesn't make it, then everybody stop buying. But when pavilion, right, is no longer about money making or not, so I would go pavilion.
Okay. I think everyone can guess what is gonna be my purchase. My purchase is very number driven, unemotional. I don't give a shit, right? About what is being sold. I care about one thing and one thing only. right? Like I said, I follow a couple of rules. I like to become the poorest person in the rich man's area, so I tend to buy the lowest price point. That's point number one. Number two here is that I will always buy below median, so I'm trying to enter at things whereby I can exit, not at a loss, right? So the only property as of today that qualifies for that will basically, based on today's price point, will be probably Agile, about 1350 to 1004, depending on who you ask as of today. There's a few hundred units available for sale from two different set of buyers, right? So Agile, do I like the product? Not really. Of all the ones that we discussed here, I think it's the worst one, right? So it's the worst one from a facility point of view. I do not approve the facility. I think it's crap, right? However, you are walkable to Pavilion. You're also walkable to TRX. You are walkable to Bukit Bintang lah. So, which is, normally low. It should be a toss between Times Square 2 versus Agile. It's not even a contest anymore, simply because Agile is walkable to two key things, while Times Square 2 is, well, it's in a dodgier part of things, right? From our point of discussion, it's probably the most dodgiest from a location point of view, right? That area has not command anything above 1,000 ringgit per square foot. So like I said, I wouldn't buy any of it as of today at this price point, because I think if you're a far cap client, you also know how much we buy certain things, right? But between the 6 property that is being discussed today, if I want to not lose money from a capital gain point of view, I don't want to lose money from a cash flow point of view, Agile will be my pick, right? If I'm looking to buy a bachelor pad city center, I will go Yushon. I'll buy Pavilion Suites, because I think from a location point of view, facility point of view, I think it's quite fantastic, right? I think screw the leasehold freehold bit, because
Nobody cares,
yeah,
At
when it
that
comes to
level.
rental, yeah, people don't care, right? People don't care. But so here's a tip, right, for you guys watching, right? If kau Melayu and you buy leasehold property in KL, you are stuck. You can only sell to Malay. You can only sell to Bumiputera. So in Kuala Lumpur, if you're a Bumi and then you buy a Bumi lot and you took Bumi discount, and most of the time it's going to be forced upon you, because developer cannot fulfill Bumi quota in KLCC center area. No way. All right? Unless Far Capital come in and help at 50% discount. Hint, Pavilion Group. So if you're watching,
They
well,
just pay penalty, bro.
yeah, they probably just say, fuck it, I'll pay penalty 7%. Why should I
Yeah.
give these guys 50% discount, right?
Yeah.
Look, brother, Tan Sri, at 1,005 will also do it. So we are quite nice one. But then again, your premium that you have to pay also 7% saja lah. No point giving 35% discount, right? So yeah, if you buy freehold as a Bumiputra, you normally don't have much of a problem. If you're Bumiputra, please be aware. When you buy in KL, if you buy leasehold property, you need consent from DBKL to sell to a non-Bumi. And most of the time, the consent is non-existent. It's almost impossible. Okay.
Only in KL.
Selangor, very negotiable. Johor, you can justify. Selangor, you can justify. KL, no way to justify.
Okay, since we are in this topic, right, I've been asking like gazillion people, nobody can give me an official answer on this. So it's true that if you get a Bumi leasehold, if it's so the process of getting the consent from state then is going to be, because there's no state is DBKL. That's why the state and authority guideline person is the same person.
Correct. So it's next to impossible. If you own a Bumi lot in KL and it's a leasehold and you need state consent, I don't know of any way to go and do it. Selangor, I've done a couple of times. You can just pay back the Bumiputra discount to sell it to non-Bumi. Fair. I think it's great lah. Selangor is great. Johor, I heard a little bit more difficult compared to Selangor, but it's still doable. Can be appealed. DBKL is almost no way. To my knowledge lah, in the last 15 years. right? So like I said lah, if I'm looking to buy something just nice as like a bachelor pad, don't care about investment, don't care about making money, losing money, I'll probably go buy pavilions because I like the location, I guess the most, right? I don't see any reason to stay in TRX. I like zero, right? I'm not sure what's the appeal. Unless, for example, I've got an office in TRX, right? Which I don't think so, right? If we end up building a tower, that tower will probably be somewhere nearby Monkera Dutama side. Right? I'm a huge fan of this area. Let's see.
Gambut.
Yeah. We're not gonna go to Segambut lah. Might as well just kerja from Coffee Bean daripada go to Segambut. Jatuh standard kita, guys.
Not kira.
Tak apa, tak mau. Right? So yeah. That'll be my take lah. Today there's already transaction around this area, which is 1,004, 1,005. So if you enter at below 1,004, I think you're actually quite safe. Yeah. So
But
having
during
said-
the visit for Agile, right, outside is all buses
Yeah.
on a weekday.
Mm.
The best design for Agile is the dual entrance. Yeah. After besides that, then the rest is all pretty okay lah. But the dual entrance is the best design move for the tower.
So yeah, I think like I said lah, from a price per square foot, freehold point of view, walkable to both shopping and financial district, makes Agile's location to be a little bit a lot more in a way unbeatable, and it's also the cheapest of all, which is proper and decent lah. Because to me, Times Square 2 is not really part of any area of serious discussion. Right? So yeah, that's my take, guys. And apa tu? Yeah.
Okay, another crazy hot take. Okay. At what price BBCC would be relevant? Because last time, okay, let's turn back like before BBCC here, before TRX here, the hottest question was BBCC versus TRX. Boom blur, like no. But then BBCC.
Who's asking the question BBCC versus TRX?
A lot from my inbox, in my inbox.
Oh, really? Okay. It's not even the same product, not even the same area. I mean, like
Not
non-comparable.
everybody far capital,
Understand? Okay.
Because people heard the name BBCC, Bukit Bintang City Centre.
Yes, city center too.
Yeah, because if they meet PJs, you say no, I'll buy it. You know what PJCC is, right? Pudu Jail City Centre, which is what it was.
Hey, that one he say one, that one he say one.
It's factually correct, It's Pudu
correct.
Jail, right?
But for me, from an infrastructure point of view, BBCC got 3 train tracks types: monorail, LRT, and one more. What is that? 2 LRT, right? Then for TRX, there's only 1 MRT. So technically, if you
It's MRT 1 and 2.
Oh, the other. Siap with it?
Yeah.
Got lah.
Interchange lah. 1 and 2.
Interchange.
Yeah,
1 and
the
2.
interchange station.
Oh, I came out from the Samsung station only. Oh, got another station lah.
It's the same station.
Oh, it's the same integrated one. You have two routes in the same station.
Oh shit, I didn't go in. Oh, my bad. Yeah, but then if you think about it, like we used to talk about intersections of tracks to be the capturing population part of it, right? Then you have a developer, then you have the program, retail mall, everything, right? What's your take, BBCC and TRX, and what price, Because Lucentia also got some transactions. I see 1,006 per square feet.
About that.
Okay, so there's some history. We've been approached, obviously, by BBCC to do a bulk deal for again BBCC lah. I offered something like 800 ringgit per square foot.
Holy shit!
Or 750. Hey, I have a reputation to maintain. I'm Yahudi, right? Yahudi don't ask nicely, okay? You ask me for a price, and I know you are desperate. and during peak of COVID, no way I'm gonna give you a 1,000 anything above 1,000 per square foot. Bodoh lah.
800 ringgit Shah Alam pun dapat.
So I think lah, I offer like 750. They don't even dare to submit to Tan Sri. So right. So that was a price point that I would say as of today I would buy. Okay. So today, at that point of time, it's 750. Today, I think we can take on anything close to about 1,000 ringgit per square foot. I think it's something we can consider. Yeah, but anything above 1,000 ringgit per square foot for BBCC, not really. Mall, as you know, not so happening. Lose out big time compared to TRX. Job creation pun not so happening. Lose out again big time compared to TRX. So, you know, I mean, if you're already buying next to TRX at 1,002, there's no way I can justify to FACAP clients to enter BBCC at 1,002 lah. For something which is, in my opinion, is not even half of what TRX is.
Yeah.
Right.
That is also my rationale, because I'm a past buyer for Berjaya. So so they offered below 1,000 also.
I see.
So that's why like, wow, below 1,000 okay, but when open to public it's 1,003, 1,002. Yeah. Okay.
So
I think a lot of people.
Yeah. And then the other thing, this is why you love Battle Royale, right? So you get insight like this. So what we find out is that for tier 1, anything above 1,000 per square foot, MRT, LRT, intersection, all of this is completely immaterial. It's useless. Okay? Why you want to stay in TRX? Because you work in TRX. You're not going to stay in TRX and then go work in Kepong. Very unlikely. Right? Because that's the destination place, right? So you go to there, right? If you stay there, that means your office is nearby lah. Right? Other than that, then there's no real reason for you to use LRT, MRT. And again, above 1 million, 2 million ringgit property, most people would have the level of, you know, being able to either take Grab or own a car. Right? So yeah, you know, it might be well connected. Like I said, for 700 ringgit per square foot, very happy. 3 LRT MRT will help. If you enter at 700 ringgit per square foot, very good. I mean, just look at it, right? From a rental point of view, how much is BBCC today? How much is it? LB per square foot.
I think yield is quite alright. It's about 6% yield, because in that area actually that's the newest we have in the comparison. If
You
you're
see,
talking
no.
about
How much is the rental per square foot today?
if the rental per square feet for a 1 bedroom is about 3,500,
How much per square foot?
per square feet is about 6 ringgit.
So you see, if you enter at 750 or 8 ringgit per square foot, you get roughly about 7 to 8% rental return. That's pretty standard for FACAP, no? Right? If you enter at, let's say, for example, 6 ringgit, right? So let's say, for example, use a 6 ringgit rental baseline, right? 6 ringgit rental baseline. If you enter at 1,002 today, which is supposedly a bargain, right, for BBCC, what's your rental yield? It's still 6%. It's not great. So like I said, if we all have done the math, it becomes quite transparent what is the right price point. So I'm not asking a 750 per square foot for fun. My job is to make money for FACAP buyers, right? And anything above 800 ringgit per square foot. And of course, you're talking about today rental. You know? Back then during COVID, you'd be lucky to get 4 ringgit per square foot. You know what I mean? Because rental in city center back then is half. Star was 1,500 ringgit per month, guys. The 1 + 1 bedroom is only 1,500 rental, KLCC. Today is 3,500. It's a holy shit moment at that point of time. So there's just no way, for example, even Star ask us to go and have a look. Again, how much I offer? 1,001. Bagi Chan lah, because nearer to KLCC. So yeah, you ask developer lah. Everyone has come to us and say Far Capital is a joke. You know, they're not serious in terms of buying. No. We are very serious. But we've got very strict rule about buying a property, and we're not going to break it now just because, you know, your cost is high and you are selling below replacement cost or you have impairment.
Okay, but just to dial down a little bit, right? I think for audiences who are listening to all this, right, for 1 o'clock, you're doing math in your head. So, like price per square feet, 700. If you price the rent per square feet, how much, then you just divide, right? You get a percentage almost very fast. So that's why, like, why a lot of people will wonder why rent is calculated per square feet, why so terrible, right? But when in real estate line, we look at things per square feet, right? Construction cost per square feet, selling price per square feet, rental per square feet, then you kind of no, because the sizes will blur everything up.
Yeah.
So just for audiences who is listening, like just a thank you. If not, what are they talking about? All numbers show here, left, right, center. Don't know what they are talking about.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, just to, like I said, that's just some context. We have got an obligation, and the job is to make money for clients, right? Not the developers. And as long as the renter can match, we can buy anything. As long as the renter doesn't match, we don't buy anything. We're as straightforward as that, right? So, like I said, people find it, wow, people are laughing that I offer 750 for BBCC. But how much was the rental in Pudu? Like, really? And that was before, Lalaport open and all that. It wasn't very high.
Robertson was dying.
Robertson was, with NPL, right left center, lelong here and there, and until today, still selling, right? And yeah, even Robertson, I think we offered like 650 per square foot or something.
Holy shit.
So yeah. So you see, I'm being nice, is it?
What's the building be in front of Robertson that tak siap-siap tu?
Plaza Raya, I think.
Oh, yang like never foundation halfway can never finish.
Yeah. That one is a nightmare of a project.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. So maybe Exim can take over.
Oh.
Kan? Exim dah jadi banyak penyelamat. So looking forward lah. Continue to become an ISO. But maybe after PNB 118 is completed, then I think a lot more firmer interest. They will take over, right? But yeah, that will be very interesting because you got people who buy 2-bedroom unit at that point of time at 300,000 ringgit, guys, for that location. Wow.
Wow.
300,000. That one is worth 1 million at least. But I don't know whether the guy who bought it earlier all still alive or not. No, it's already 20 plus years. So it's like crazy shit. To make 1 million, you have to wait 20 years. No joke. No. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, like that. So we think BBCC today maybe 1,000 is okay. There will be some level of upside. All right. I think it's fair because it's walkable to PNB 118. You got a mall below. 1,000 is fair. It becomes the cheapest in the area. It's cheaper than Times Square too, despite having a much better location. So I think 1,000 is fair. Yeah. And it's leasehold, right? BBCC?
I forgot.
I think it's leasehold.
Leasehold.
Yeah. So people think I'm making fun of the developer by offering 750. No, the math has been done, guys. We're familiar with the math. We know what the rental is going to look like. So even today, assuming we entered 800 ringgit per square foot 4 years ago, your rental is berapa saja? 6 ringgit. Right? 7-8% lah. Right?
Okay. Oh, kita siap awal hari ni.
Yes. So
lagi.
Yeah, so very quickly, I will summarize it, right? Before we move to the Q&A, right? Which not many questions, just 18. No, 23, sorry. Right? Number one, Agile is a mainland China developer. And the reality is that they've basically exited their position in Bukit Bintang. So what you see as an Agile today is a shell of what the original company is. That currently all the asset and inventory in the company is owned by a Malaysian company, right? So and if I recall correctly, this Malaysian company is called TS Law. which basically also has got a building in TRX. They bought over all Agile's asset at a very good price. That's all I can say, right? So far, I can't think of any more mainland China developer that is currently having presence. A lot of them looking to exit Malaysia largely because of what has happened in China. So I think that's one. Second thing here is that, so this is summary. Again, small units in Bukit Bintang, TRX is similar to KLCC. It's not viable for long term. It's more viable for Airbnb play, so it's not going to be something that you probably want to keep in the next 10 years, right? So that's number one. Number two, between TRX and Bukit Bintang, we think TRX will outperform Bukit Bintang largely because of the number of jobs being created and high value, expensive jobs, financial center. And obviously, if you have to choose between this, you want to buy something that is walkable to both, right? As been proven from the rental tonight, one which is walkable to both, amazingly has got the highest rental per square foot. Also highest rental yield, right? Third one, very important, please do not pay Bukit Bintang TRX prices in Pudu, right? So please understand the border, very, very clear. We've drawn the border for you guys, right? So again, Pudu now got three sets of Pudu. You got the 118 Pudu, you got the Bukit Bintang Pudu, you also have TRX Pudu. So Pudu is huge, right? So it's the bottom of all of this area, right? And again, between which Pudu that you want to buy, similar lah, you go with jobs. For us, is TRX Pudu would be worth more compared to the Bukit Bintang Pudu, right? Or compared to the 118 Pudu, right? So this is our recommended entry price for those who are looking to make minimum 20% gains and break-even rental for the next 5 to 10 years, right? Ideally, for 700 square foot and below, you want to do below 1,005, right? Anything between 1,700 to 1,200, you want to enter below 1,003, right? Anything above 1,002 is roughly about 1,000, and anything above 2,000 square foot, you probably want to enter below 800 ringgit per square foot. Okay, so again, there's nothing to watch. The TRX view is not as premium compared to the Petronas Twin Towers view, right? So that's just the reality. So the Twin Towers is still the view, right? Before PNB 118 opens, right? So after that, it's going to be a competition between those two, tallest Twin Tower and the second tallest building in the world, right? And obviously, unit with rooftop pool gets a 10 to 20% premium. Okay, so very similar to KLCC Battle Royale, right? Whereby, you know, unit with view, unit with rooftop pool commands a certain premium versus the unit which is not. Okay, so this is basically summary for tonight's presentation, Bukit Bintang versus TRX. And to a certain extent, Pudu lah. I think we did cover Pudu tonight, right? So some disclaimer. This is about talking about our purchase in this area. Basically, we bought something in this area. I cannot mention which building, right? But we bought it at 1,200 ringgit per square foot and below, right? We bought it roughly about 50% discount versus SPA, right? Some of our buyers get anything between 300,000 all the way to about 1 million ringgit worth of cashback, right? So this is the price point we enter. So again, when I say I'm Yahudi, I maintain my price point is we have always had we don't just talk up, right? Talking about something that cannot be done, right? So far, I think we've been able to get above 7% rental yield in this area. If you enter the right price point, you can always get above break-even rental, right? Today, like I said, last year we bought Bukit Bintang TRX at 1,002 and below. This year we're buying KLCC at 1,500 per square foot and below. We're also currently buying in the cheapest tier 1, which is Vitamas at 600 per square foot. Okay, and right now, if you can't afford any of this so-called tier 1, just buy tier 2 at below 240k, which is going to be our next pre-launch lah. So if you're keen, please scan the QR code, join our WhatsApp channel, right? Continue to watch our Battle Royale, and if there's any balance in it, you might be able to go and buy it lah after Far Capital clients go in and buy, right? If there's any more balance in it lah. Most of the time tak ada lah guys lah. But kalau ada, let's see. Right? So Like I said, this is basically our WhatsApp channel. Please scan the QR code. Join us if you want. Next week we'll have a session on how to buy safe property in 2024. Right? So with that, I think we can go straight to the Q&A.
Anyway, okay, so the panelists, I hope you guys can pick your questions. So I bagi seorang 5 soalan untuk pick, then we can actually move lah. Now,
Okay. I think 3 je lah. Then we can
3
end by
lah.
1:30.
Alright.
Quick fire.
Okay. So this one, I've already picked previously. Number 1 is that you talk about HSR becoming the game changer in this area. How far do you think this change can go?
So again, right? So the reason why HSR doesn't come to KLCC, doesn't come to TRX, doesn't come to Bukit Bintang, guys. It's gonna come to Bandar Malaysia, Sungai Besi Old Airport, right? So that's where the station earmark is gonna be, right? So please don't go and say, I'm buying this area because Faizul say HSR coming to TRX. Fuck no, I didn't say that, right? It's coming to Bandar Malaysia, right? Cukup lah. I have enough haters already, right? So but because HSR is such a key infrastructure project, it will lift a lot of property along tier 1. Because HSR is basically targeting primarily expats, right? Foreign income earners, right? So Singaporeans. So basically, my hypothesis here is that if they were to come, then everything becomes comparable, right, to Singapore. Everything is now being compared to Singapore. Okay? So long story short, okay, if a comparable property, let's say, for example, I think Orchard Road as of today is probably going for about 3,000 to 4,000 Sing dollar per square foot, right? So at 3,000 to 4,000 Sing dollar per square foot, I think your Bukit Bintang KLCC property 10 years from now potentially can be looking at, okay, 3,000 to 4,000 ringgit per square foot. Because for their point of view, it is still 70% cheaper, similar to Singapore, right? But this is a 5 to 10 year cerita, guys. And most likely it's going to be not 5 years. It's going to be post HSR completion. Until then, it's still a long way to go. Again, this is not a fucking buy call for everyone, right? It's not going to, oh, Faizul says it's going to be 4,000 per square foot. Let's go buy TRX core residence at 2,000 per square foot. No. Due guys, right? Do your own due diligence. So I think potentially you could look at that because it's still 70% cheaper and it's a 2 hours away. All right, it's a 2 hour away, right? So I think it's not an impossible scenario whereby average price point for new property at that point of time will be about 3,000 to 4,000 ringgit per square foot. Older one will probably be about 2,500, 3,000. Okay, but you gotta buy property that meets Singapore standard, right? And you have to also understand the psyche of Singaporeans, right? So Pudu will not be a bad one, guys. Don't buy Pudu. They wouldn't dare walking.
Probably the one yang connected to MRT.
Yeah. So Bandar Malaysia, right? The HSR will start Bandar Malaysia. And how far is Bandar Malaysia to TRX? How far is Bandar Malaysia to Bukit Bintang, right? Just a couple of stations away.
All right. Okay, so the next one, what do you think about the prospect of all property in Bukit Bintang at below 800 per square feet?
I think there's no story there. Because why? If you want capital gain, you need people to buy it for own stay. But this old property in Bukit Bintang are located in not so nice areas, guys. Right? So your Angkasa Impian, Bintang Gold Hill, right? All of that, right? Bidara, right? These guys, these are all below 1,000 per square foot. But, from a location point of view, it's not the most ideal, right? So I think you're looking at a very slow capital gain. And I think if you look at the capital gain the last 10 years, non-existent. Right? Non-existent, no positive cash flow, rental didn't go up because competition from newer properties. Right? So and if you look at it, I think the average rental for older property LB is about 2 ringgit to 250 per square foot average around Bukit Bintang. All right, 2 ringgit to about 250 ringgit per square foot versus new is about 5 to about 750, right? So the gap is pretty big, right? So for me, buy new, and especially if you are betting on my bet, right, whereby HSR is going to bring Singaporeans to go and buy property in this area in a large scale, they're not going to look at your older property.
Probably the one yang transacted today is the own stay, is it? Because from what I see, it's the 3 and 4 bedrooms in the Ceylon area. It's among the hot ones. So the old and big sizes. What I can think is it might be for own stay, not for investment.
But Ceylon is the quiet side lah. That's why
Yeah.
it's more for own stay lah. Takkan.
Because for me, if for own stay, I'm just not saying what, there's zero reason to stay here for own stay. All right. So I mean, if you're looking to buy for own stay, I think you are buying for retirement lah. Right. So I would buy KLCC. Right. So KLCC is a lot more livable compared to Bukit Bintang or TRX for own stay. I'm really not seeing it lah. Right. KLCC has got a park, a lot more pleasant, you know. More diverse expat community too, a lot safer too.
All right. Okay, so this is actually a question for all the panelists. What is the maximum per square feet that the panelists would pay for either Bukit Bintang or TRX, both new versus old?
I think it's summarized in the slide just now.
Yeah lah, but that's my summary lah. You could have a different view, is it?
Why would I pay higher when I know you, bro? You get what I mean? You know,
Good point. Yeah.
The only
So
thing that I'm buying outside, right, is things that you are not selling.
Okay. Fair. Right. So I think the guideline is pretty clear lah, right? The guideline is pretty clear. Maximum 1,500 for 1 bedroom unit. And provided is, you know, like the best location walkable to TRX and Bukit Bintang. Right. And of course it gets cheaper as the size gets bigger.
But I think something for audiences is, because I think if you are still listening until now, right, meaning like, you know, Far Capital is a bulk purchase company. But if you were to walk into sales gallery, tak mungkin you get this kind of price lah, especially as an individual, right? Tak mungkin. Kecuali you Sean pun mungkin je. Mungkin saja. So the only other channels is sub-sales and auction. So sub-sale depending on your luck and the amount of your negotiation skill sets. Auction, but then when auction like Robertson, then you didn't want. Sorry?
Got a lot of hidden costs and also upfront costs that you have to pay also.
Yeah, but it's a skill set. Again, it's still a skill set. So I think there are some questions about like how do you get 30 to 40%, right? It's only through negotiations when deals are crafted, right? To find deals it takes way more effort actually. So it's also a game for people with capital. That's why you can find like when Faizul says 1,500, right? When the whole market is selling 1,600, maybe still got chance lah. But when the whole market is selling 2,000, right, you want to look for 1,500, tak mungkin one lah. Tak mungkin one lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So to add, if you guys want to know our insider deals, do join us in our WhatsApp channel. Thank you, Shane, for doing that. Thank you, Sean. Yeah. So I'm just
Macam
gonna share.
ayam plug in pula.
Okay, so the next one, kalau rasa malas nak cari deals, I already leave the link in the chat. So do join us on WhatsApp channel. We confirm akan update you guys if there's anything else. Okay, so the next question is Agile Bukit Bintang at 1.4 per square feet can buy?
It's okay, right? It's not expensive comparatively to what is available today I think it's okay. I think you just have to understand lah, there are people who are buying cheaper, right? So again, lowest I've heard is below 1,002 just last year. 2 years ago, it was even below that, right? So I mean, at 1,004 for that location, we think it's actually quite fair. But there are people who bought cheaper. That's all.
All right.
Maybe can explain a little bit more about what does it mean when people are buying cheaper?
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think just from a competitive edge point of view in terms of rental, they can compete. Then when they exit also, at a point where even if they exit at the same price, they make money, you haven't. Yeah, so that's why when because a lot of people also don't get it. Why? Last time he buy 2 years ago, of course he gets to earn more, right? But the whole point here is that we buy property to earn money, not to get into the game, you know. Yeah, I think that's some confusion to be cleared also.
Yeah. So I think 1,004 is okay. Your risk is lower compared to all the other so-called new launch lah. But again, for far cap, no, because unless we enter at the lowest price point, because for us it's very simple, right? The job is to make sure our client has got the most competitive advantage, right? What Sean basically said, right? So number one, how do you get the best competitive advantage? Number one, you make sure you buy the lowest price point. Right? And number two, you make sure from a financing cost also is also the cheapest, because if your installment is 3,500 and your neighbor installment is 5,500 for the same value of property, you have a major competitive advantage, right? So buy the lowest price point, buy the lowest mortgage too. Third one here is that you also need to make sure that you've got, in a way, sufficient bullet. So what we always tell our client here is that I want you to overspend when it comes to reno. So, for example, right, we were quite fortunate because we entered at the time whereby financing is a bit more friendly for Ajang, right? So we are able to get a valuation of 2002, 2004, right? Today, no valuation, you know, that can match SPA lah, to my knowledge, about 1,006 to about 1,008. Well, people who bought at the point of time not only buy the lowest price point, they also got the highest amount of cashback, right? So that cashback is useful because you have to remember, we are competing, right? We are competing for the same pool of tenant. If your unit look at that, and then we can spend 15,000 more on renovation to outcompete with you for the same amount of rental, we're going to win, right? So this strategy has been applied even when we go to Maluri, right? As you know, we bought into a high density development because our client has got the most amount of cashback. So because of that, our renovation will always be the nicest. We have the nicest unit available in the market. We also have the nicest rooms available in the market. So best case scenario, we charge a 10 to 20% premium. For people who want to stay there, but don't want lousy room, right? So they want something a bit better, they're willing to pay 10 to 20% more. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we price the same as per you, right? But we enter the lower price point. And while you have to pay 20 or 30,000 renovation, our clients don't have to, right? They use cashback, right? It's not even their own money. So again, guys, when you are competing in an area whereby it's now there's a lot of supply and all that, you must make sure, right? On top of buying at the right price point, use the right rental strategy, your unit will also has to be competitive. Which is why I think there are some comments here talking about certain units can get rental 10 ringgit per square foot. Yeah, I know. Anomaly, right? So you can get one unit at 10 ringgit per square foot, right? But how many units can get 10 ringgit per square foot? How many units can outcompete when it comes to renovation? Right? So I think these are all things that you have to understand, because you can enter at the best price point, but if you have a lousy rental strategy, you're still going to lose money. You're not going to get any of the yield that we mentioned. Right? So it's very important lah. Make sure when you buy into any area, like I said, on top of buying cheaper is easy, but you also have to deploy the right rental strategy. On top of buying cheaper, you also must get the highest rental. So you unit has to be prepared in such a way whereby it's ready to be able to go and accomplish that. Buying cheap is no use if your rental is cheap. Right? Right? Buying cheap is useful when your cashback is higher, which also means you can invest in unit to make it the most competitive.
That's how you ask a question. Che.
Nice one. Okay, I think we covered this, but I'm just going to read it anyway, just to ensure that we covered it. BBCC Times Square is dead. What do you think of the prospect of TRX Mall and the 118 Mall, given we have too many malls already?
Interesting. Sean, go. TRX Mall versus 118 Mall.
I haven't seen 118 mall, so
What?
and you're asking a person who don't go mall. Yeah. So, but based on my understanding, land lease, their specifications is done really excellent. So I don't know, like TRX, right? Like siap so long, I only go once, and it's for a project. I don't shop. Yeah, I don't buy stuff, so I don't know. Wrong person to ask.
Okay. My view is all depends on the income of the area. So who's renting a 118, right? So you got Maybank, right? Which is an okay company. But I would say many of their employees make less than 10,000 per month. Okay. Surya KLCC became great because it's an oil and gas hub. So Petronas, 6 months, 12-month bonus, a lot of spending power. Yeah. You don't have to talk about Shell, the Halliburtons of the world, or the Exxons. These are all 20-30 ribu punya income. So that's why Surya KLCC, as of today, is one of the most successful. And I think I was bought during COVID, so I calculated backward what's the rental income that the whole office tower and the Surya KLCC is able to generate. I think come to about 400 to about half a billion a year. Right? The most expensive office, still KLCC, right? Petronas Twin Towers is still one of the most expensive office in the country at 12 to 15 ringgit per square foot. And here's the best part, guys. You have money also, you cannot get a lantai or an office space because they really look at you. Who the fuck are you? If you are reputable, like Bloomberg, foreign name and whatnot, Microsoft, they allow you to go in. Otherwise, a company like Farcap, sorry lah, tak laku, right? Unless you become a unicorn listed co, in the region, maybe you lah. They give us space, but otherwise, a company like Farcap doesn't have a chance. So I got money, so I cannot get. So that's Twin Towers, right? So will PNB 118 more be able to go and get what Petronas Twin Towers or Surya KLCC has? I think it's very unlikely. Too little tenants, too little jobs. There's not enough land nearby the area to go and build, any form of job creation or residential, basically, right? So purely by that, the number of jobs being created, high value jobs being created, you've got Maybank, you've got Park Hyatt. So these are the only two meaningful large companies that I know of. Looking at 118, every other company, I'm not so sure, right? But it's owned by PNB, so they're probably going to force some of their investees companies to go and take up some floors because that's how these things goes, right? Look at the largest shareholder of Maybank. Surprise, right? So, but then again, Menara Maybank also quite old, right? But hey, you got TRX as a financial center. The most obvious choice if you want to move office is where? TRX, right? So why go to PNB 118? Look at the largest shareholder, Maybank, right? So, right? So I would probably say in many ways, Maybank will save PNB more money, right? At least for the next 5 to 10 years, right? While TRX is not relying on, in a way, no longer, I would say not relying, no longer relying on cronyism, no longer relying on political favor and, very honest conversation, right? We're having tonight. So you are talking about land lease, right? Professional property owners, you got Mulia Group, potentially connected to the previous regime, but they're also a individual operator in Indonesia, so pretty large guys. Then you've got all these HSBC, Yafin and whatnot, so Prudential. So these are all proper international firms. So you ask me, two major company versus 10 to 20 others and walkable to Bukit Bintang, there's no doubt in my mind, TRX Small will outperform PNB 118. If they are competing in the same category, which I don't think they are, I think PNB will be a niche product, right? But there's just not enough available commercial in the area for 10 companies, public listed companies, to go and build offices to support the 118, right?
Is it because of the location of 118 or because of the management or the operator?
I mean, there's just not enough space to build a couple of office blocks. So, and what is it going to be known for, right? So KLCC is an oil and gas hub, right? Bukit Bintang, OG shopping, right? TRX financial hub. So why is what? What hub? Right? No hub. No hub. So I think you can do a Chinese rhyme here, no hub, no fart, or something like that, right? So
I just try to keep quiet. Great, shut up, and great, shut up.
I know what you're thinking. But anyway, let's go.
Right. What is interesting is that I hear they're going to launch a residential component next to 118, and it's going to be priced at 2,000 ringgit per square foot. Right. And I told them it's a bad idea, right, to launch it at 2,000 per square foot, unless, for example, you want to go with branded residence. Maybe you build a Hyatt residence there, maybe, okay, it can work. That's my take. It's not comparable. TRX is a proper hub. 118 is not really a hub. Yeah.
But what a take on the mall thing. I never expect commercial. I always look into architecture. I'm from EP6, so I think wow, what a good insight. What a good insight.
So I think for a shopping mall to happen, the income must be able to go and sustain what is being sold, what is being positioned in the mall, right? You be a high-end mall, unless you are a tourism hotspot, the income to go and support it.
Because what I find interesting also, like when your point of view stirred up a lot of things. Like when you say income group, right? That's why in like Puchong itself, like the place I stay, right? Puchong, I got IOI Mall, then a drive away I got Sunway Pyramid, a drive away I got Mid Valley, a drive away I got Pavilion Bukit Jalil, a drive away I got IOI City Putrajaya. Then Pavilion is like 30-minute drive away. But all kind of worked. All kind of work. Meaning the people there got money, the income group there got money. But if you were to go to then like Klang, like Shah Alam, unfortunately one will dominate all. So if you have like four kind of okay one, the one will dominate all, like Circuit City Mall. Yeah, so I need some more observation on this, but very, very cool take on it.
Yeah.
Like?
All right. Okay, so this one is sinkhole and new info about limestone underneath Kuala Lumpur. Will this make Kuala Lumpur property price drop?
No. Simple answer. Hmm.
Maybe I want to elaborate a bit further lah. Maybe lah. Okay. It's like flirt. Flirt when the incident happened for the maybe next 1 year, 2 year, it will. But eventually people forget. Unless it's a reoccurrence kind of thing. Like if that area every year will flirt, then yes. So now if the sinkhole happens again and again and again, then yes. But I doubt lah. I doubt lah.
Okay, the next one, high property, low seafood. If there's are hotels and many Airbnb premium units available in BB area, will future development affect the ROI due to oversupply situation? Thanks.
I think the simple take on it is increased competition will always diminish yield, right? So which is why you don't rely on just existing supply, you see? So which is why we always say, right? So KLCC, Bukit Bintang, small unit today, rental yield looks good, but it's not something that you can keep forever. Because you're going to lose out to the newly launched 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? And then you lose your sexiness, you lose your appeal, right? As an Airbnb play, because Airbnb is all about something new, hot, Then after 5 to 10 years, you go to the cheap value chain. Cheap value chain means you don't command certain premium, right? And Sean highlighted a very important thing, in KLCC Battle Royale. So what happens when there's a possibility of an Airbnb ban? Right? So which is why we are not we don't like the idea of people selling property using Airbnb. Right? Simply because number one, that means your regular rental show koyak cannot make it. That's why people use Airbnb to sell. And number two here is that there's also no guarantee Airbnb will not be banned, will not be, you can do it forever, right? And obviously, in last but not least, assuming, for example, right, you can do it forever, you are still subject to future competition. Right? So just be mindful. Which is why, like I said, ultimately it's all about price point. Ultimately, it's all about price point. But again, like I said, if HSR were to come in, right, then I think you're talking about a few 100,000 Singaporeans commuting on a monthly basis just to have a weekend, spend time, go and eat nice food at 1/3 of the price. Right? So you are unlocking a brand new segment who is not traveling to KL Saturday because it's very inconvenient. Right? So which is why I think the biggest game changer for Bukit Bintang TRX is actually going to be HSR for two fronts. Number one, commercial and office jobs. Number two, tourism. Right? So HSR is going to be a fucking big win for us. And I always maintain with you, to my team, so between MRT3 and HSR, fuck MRT3, just continue HSR. MRT3 only benefits certain areas only. HSR benefits the country. So yeah, pray hard lah. If you are buying in KLCC, Bukit Bintang, TRX, you pray hard HSR happen. Because if HSR happen, all of you make money. Based on today's price point, those who enter at our guided price point will make even more. But even if you enter the wrong price, most likely you'll make money in the next 5 to 10 years if HSR were to happen.
Okay. Now the next one. Oh, sorry, LB, you want to say something? No? Okay. Why BB's not perform well compared to KLCC for Airbnb? I think BB are more happenings.
I pick these questions. I guess during the listing or plotting the mapping Airbnb, the listing of Bukit Bintang actually is lesser. It's like quite a half, like close to half comparing to KLCC, even comparing to the hottest or closest attractions between these two areas is that the Petronas Twin Towers and also pavilions itself in Bukit Bintang. Even though you might see, yes, people go to Bukit Bintangs for commercial like shoppings, but most likely after like eating, or I think they actually will go back to KLCC and stay. Even you seeing like Bukit Bintang's kind of like listing, they even use KLCC view or Petronas Twin Tower view as attractions for their listing to get a better occupancy and better yield, or sort of better daily rate comparing to others, even comparing to daily rate for like a big size group, or even coming for a family, they actually prefer to rent in KLCC or comparing to Bukit Bintang. This is why, even though you might see Bukit Bintang is like very crowded, very jammed to turn in, but it's just for like commercials. But after that, they will just eventually go back to KLCC and stay. This is actually my findings of it. I would say is you go Bukit Bintang shopping, makan, but then they actually still prefer to go for something luxury because it's like a vacation, right? So they still prefer KLCC for the view, yeah, comparing to Bukit Bintang.
I have a slightly different take. My take is as a head of a family, you want to stay somewhere pleasant and safe. So if I were to compare those two areas, right? Which one is more pleasant and safe? Less foreign worker. I can walk to anywhere. And the answer is KLCC. Right?
But the question to that then, when you book Airbnb, you don't know that it's safe or not. Right?
I think people will read reviews. Right? People will read reviews.
I read reviews. Yeah.
People will read reviews. Number one. Number two here is that I think from a product point of view, the ones in KLCC is also, in a way, somewhat nicer compared to the one in Bukit Bintang. If you look at the so-called Airbnb, so-called product, it's quite hotel standard versus the ones in Bukit Bintang. So the only one in Bukit Bintang that has that, I think, is Exxon as of today, which also doing very well. But I also suspect it is largely also due to the fact that it's walkable to TRX. So you got a business traveler group, you also got a tourism group.
Probably the one yang going towards Bukit Bintang, Ceylons and all for the nightlife lah. Right? So different tenant, different market segment.
Macam mana you tahu ni nightlife?
And either way, right? It's just a 10-15 minutes away. Right? Either way, it's just 10 to 15 minutes away. So from a cab drive, it's not that expensive to travel. Okay, next.
All right. So the next one, do you think it's a good idea to diversify the portfolio at different location, or as long as my portfolio can has positive cash flow will do?
It depends on your strategy.
Yeah.
It's really depend on your strategy, right? You typically buy property only for three reasons only. You either go for capital gain or you go for cash flow, right? Some fund capital client buy it to pay off debts, right? So a bit weird lah. We buy below market, so we can do that, right? So some people buy property to pay off a bunch of debts, right? But most of the time, you either go for capital gain or you go for cash flow, right? So you already know if you go for cash flow, right? Why are you buying this area? Everything is expensive. Your cash flow here isn't great, right? Your Dutamas, Mount Kiara, most likely will give you a far better cash flow compared to here, right? So you only buy here largely because of maybe you want something in KLCC Bukit Bintang, right? To say that you made it, right? Because a lot of people buy it for trophy purchases, right? So you haven't really made it until you own something in KLCC or Bukit Bintang, right? Because that's just how a lot of people think, right? So that's emotionally driven decision. But other than that, it depends on your portfolio. Now, however, back then, I would say I will spread my eggs, right? So I buy KL, I buy Selangor, I buy Johor, right? I buy multiple areas, right? Today, I would be a bit more of a focus guy. I'd rather be a master in one area than average investor in multiple areas.
My take on it, right? Diversification is just a cool way to do if you don't know, you are uncertain of your strategy.
Warren Buffett said this.
Yeah.
Diversification is for people who don't know what they are doing.
Yeah.
So
So you
that's
buy
the most
S&P
direct.
500
Yeah.
lah.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a mentor, and I've invited him right for during during COVID, right? And he bought multiple areas, so he just sold every single one of them. He's just focused on owning bungalows in Bangsa, right?
Yeah.
Got the bungalows in Bangsa rented 35,000 all the way to 65,000. He doesn't need to own any other shit anywhere else, no matter how good. Cannot be his Bangsa property. Right? Buy 5 million, sell for 10 million after 2 years. So he already know how to play Bangsa. So every time he exit Bangsa, it's one free Ferrari or Lambo. Right? So I thought, like I said, it's a pretty cool story, right? To say, hey, if you focus, you know the area inside out. And I think last time we did Battle Royale, right? I think I can't remember who. I think you, Sean, right? You were saying about this guy who owned 15 or 20 units, each husband and wife in Mont Kiara.
Yep.
They only play Mont Kiara. Why? Because if you own that many units, number one, you can cater to the luxury, middle, low. In the same area, right? You got options for all three. And you understand the area dynamic inside out. You know what people are willing to pay, you know what the renovation strategy you need to put. It becomes extremely predictable.
So like the only reason why you want to get one here, because you don't know where makes money.
Yeah. Like for example, I used to have a dream of all tier one, I need to own one property. I used to have that dream, right, 5 years ago. Today, nah, no more. Right?
Dulu one buka, anak tak ada dah.
Yeah. I still dream of owning a unit in KLCC overlooking Twin Towers. Not for the purpose of making money, but I guess largely for ego and trophy purchase. City
Pavilion
Bachelor
call.
Park. Huh?
Ask Pavilion call. If you're watching, call.
Oh, I found mine already.
Huh?
I found mine already. 1,005.
Hey, you told me you want to tell me one. Oh, later I ask you.
PM to P. My Dutamas play should give me 20,000 per month positive cash flow to pay for that lah. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, carry on. Let's go.
All right,
Yes.
that will be the last question for tonight.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we still have any questions, but it's not picked by the panelists. So for those who are not answering the question, we apologize. It's nearly 2. Do come and join our free webinars. We have What Do I Buy Public. We also have Sunday session next Sunday and another Battle Royale next week. Or you can also join our WhatsApp channel so to get updates from us on the deals, insights, and maybe some opportunity to ask questions more with the rest of the panelists. Okay, so I'm just going to share it again in the chat.
Right.
Before we end the session, do you have any last word to say, all panelists?
I saw a couple of interesting questions, which I think I'm just going to go through. So the panelists, if you guys have to leave already, you guys go ahead. But I'm just going to cover a couple, right? How to get 40-50% discount list price on TRX? Simple, you have to buy a lot of units. So as you know, we buy 50, 100 units. So you buy 50, 100 units, you get a lot of discount, right? So if you can't do that on your own, join us at Pakat. Senang cerita, right? Very interesting question for Peter. What is the max price for HSR ticket to not turn it into a Concorde flight service that price itself out? So basically the viability of HSR, right? I just covered this question yesterday during our property tour, right? Guys, no infrastructure project or transportation project makes money. If you're talking about train, it doesn't make money, right? The whole idea is to improve economy. Now, I think last time, I don't know whether it's Pua Chukang or Tony Pua, I cannot remember who, talking about HSR can never make money, therefore we should scrap it, that's how we should cancel it. Maybe it's Tony Pua. It's the same lah, Phua Chu Kang, Antonio Paul, right? Same surname. The idea of looking at it from a price ticket point of view is a dumb idea, simply because, again, if you build infrastructure project like MRT, it will never make money. It's not supposed to make money in the first 20 or 30 years, right? Now, how do you make money out of infrastructure HSR is that you make sure that government or the HSR corporation owns the land nearby the station. The increase of the land nearby the station is going to be worth far a lot more than the price to build HSR. Right? Bandar Malaysia with the HSR station is worth 100 billion. One Bandar Malaysia, right? They are talking about aligning the HSR station to Forest City. Why? Forest City today is worth 100 billion US dollars. With the HSR station, direct connectivity to Singapore, you don't think it's going to be worth more? It will. Right? So, the idea here is that if you look at it purely from ticket price, versus the OPEX and whatnot, can never cover. Right? So, I would say, Peter, as long as the price point is below 100 Sing, right? I think you're looking at a possibility of a few 100,000 Singaporeans committing on a monthly basis just for holiday, right? Because that's price of a meal in Singapore, for a decent meal for 2 people in Singapore. You come over here, you have many meals, many good meals like that, right? So yeah, right? Edmund has got a question which I think is also interesting. TRX comparison to Bangsa South Grade A office. Again, Bangsa South Grade A is meant for MSc status, right? IT hub. TRX is more for financial hub, right? So the finance industry is an industry that will never die, no matter what. IT can be seasonal. Well, back then it was seasonal. Today, I also think it can never die, right? So it's very different. The special tax incentive applicable to people who are owning, renting in TRX is also going to be different compared to your just MSc status, which already expired as of today, right? So completely different animal, right? And Bangsa South is a private corporation-led initiative. Government only support it by putting MSc status saja, right? TRX, government. Very different animal, right? TRX2 launching at a higher price point. I think we already very clear. Anything? What else? PNB. How to calculate rental yield? You can Google it, right? How to compare Metropolis or Bandar Malaysia best potential growth in the next 10 years? No, guys. The next 10 years, Bandar Malaysia is not going to make money because it's still being built. What will make money is the nearest available option, right? So yeah.
Nearest available option of tier 1, not if not it's going to be RC residents. Okay, so I think you need to add you need to finish the sentence a little bit more. People are like, oh, blah blah, oh, Tryon is near, or Tryon 2 is nearer, then no. Yeah.
So you have to look at it from an ecosystem point of view, what is the complete location. So there's a reason why Tryon or RC today not doing as well as Mvertica, right? So despite more expensive in the case of Tryon, right? Simply because of one is connectivity and commercial ability, and of course, the ecosystem on top of the facilities of the condo, right? So I think one statement here is that FR said insufficient land, PB18, Kampung Atap, they feel large piece of land, form hub, but it's not owned by the government. It's owned by private developers. Okay, so and it's up to the private developers to build whatever they want. Right, so for me, not enough. Okay, So I maintain my view lah, TRX will outperform the PNB 118, largely because, it's not reliant on one single entity, right, for it to do well. Okay. So I think we are at the end of good questions. Maybe last is that HSR affect housing and commercial prices of Singapore. No, Singapore is a completely different animal. Guys, have to understand. Singapore is for the rich. If you are a rich foreigner, you are a rich Singaporean, you are welcome, and you can very well have a very happy life in Singapore. No fucking way you will move to Malaysia. Malaysia is the option for people who can't afford Singapore. We have to sedar diri, guys. Right? Malaysia is a second tier option. And there's no shame in admitting we are a second tier option. Okay? Our policies is not as smart. We don't have as much foresight. Right? Our policies is depending on who can win the next election in the next 3 to 5 years. So if our politicians make decision based on, will I get to retain my MP seat and my ministerial position in the next 3 years? You make very different decision compared to, how Singaporean appoint ministers, very highly educated, pay them a couple of million, which means it becomes very hard to corrupt them. Right? Because when you're paid very well, you're very smart, they're very scared to go do bad things. And Singapore small, you rent cheaper below market also, but then people complain. Malaysian ministers look at Singapore ministers got caught renting cheap. You guys mana ni belajar ni, come to daddy will teach you better. So yeah. But this is just how the country is being built. Singapore is built with 20-year forecast and planning. Right? They will grab the best talent. Right? All the billionaires in Asia would park their money in Singapore, would own something in Singapore. Malaysia, we're not there. HSR put us on the map. It will allow people, okay, I want to retire in Singapore. Shit, I'm too poor to retire in Singapore. Okay lah, this cheap country next door looks okay. Right? I pay 70% cheaper. Today, we're not even in the conversation. With HSR, we will be in the conversation. And to me, there's no shame. Right? Guys, 70% cheaper than Singapore is still 3 atau 4 kali ganda compared to today's price point. All of you will make shitloads amount of money. Even at 70% cheaper compared to Singapore. No shame. Sedar diri, we play second tier, we play complementary economy to what Singapore is. So Singapore will, Singapore is like Swiss watches. Right? So like Patek Philippe. Some people can afford to go there, buy, own one, and most people cannot. Right? So we cater to the people who cannot afford to own Patek Philippe. Or your the Mas Piguet, or short, big smile when I say Patek Philippe. Right? So, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? So
Yep.
you've got, you got people who can afford it, and you got people who aspires to be there but not there yet. So we can always attract people who aspire but not there yet. And when they are rich now, they go to Singapore. And I think
Question.
sure.
If HSR happen, does JB lose appeal?
No, not at all. I mean, look, JP has got RTS, right? So RTS is going to be primary driver in the bridge. The HSR doesn't hurt Johor. Also doesn't really benefit Johor in any way. Doesn't hurt or benefit. So HSR, the only thing it's going to help, if it's located in Forest City, it will help Forest City. So you go from dead to
alive.
Alive, right? Because direct connectivity, right? If it's aligned to Medini will be better, right? The prospect will be slightly better, but it's not going to be a big game changer for Johor. So where it will benefit? Malacca. Tourism, daily trip to Malacca, quite fun,
Yeah.
right? Cheap daily trip, right? Hotels are cheap. They pay 600 ringgit per night. It's still less than 200 Sing dollars. Nothing no good hotels in Singapore, you can get that. Right? So some portions of Putrajaya will also benefit. Right? KL will be the biggest beneficiary. Our city center property will now be on the map.
Okay.
Which I think, yeah, of all your TRX, your PNB, KLCC, Bukit Bintang, I think for retirement, most people will pick KLCC. It's the most livable.
Mm.
Okay. So guys, I want to thank you guys for staying. It's almost 4 hours now, as usual. And brilliant questions all along. I hope you benefited. I hope you learned something new from all of the panelists tonight. Thank you, Albi, for preparing the presentation and the data together with Zairi. And of course, as usual, thank you, William. Thank you, Ihan, Sean, for wonderful insights all around. So with that, have a good week ahead, everyone. And of course, I'll see you guys in What Do I Buy on Wednesday, or the next session of How to Buy Safe Property next Sunday. Assalamualaikum. Good night, everyone. Bye, guys.
Bye bye, everyone. Assalamualaikum and good night.